This platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers makes their choice, and we ask the questions, and we give the guest the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they're heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody that gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Another Sunday. 40 people. Here we come again. When we left last Sunday, Brother Marong, we said we will be back.
Inshallah.
God willing. We were not disappointed. And again, welcome to the 40 People by the People. Another Sunday, the independent platform. Courageous. We talk about the issues. Without favor or ill will. We call it as we said.
No, you know why I'm smiling or laughing, Karian? Because last week when we came here, Mose had a hat like a cap on, and everybody, oh, Musa, you look really young with that cap. And this, so I've seen that today. He went and bought this lame Atlanta like a cap to wear. But it's okay. It makes you look much younger.
And if I'm going to come here, young people, I want to make sure that I look young too. But there's a lot more to it. And
what is it?
Later on, I will reveal what is behind the cap.
Okay.
There's a new Asobi in town for 2026.
And what's that Asobi?
We have ordered almost 300,000 caps for 2026. And that is going to be the change. So watch out now. This cap represents something. And it's going to be the Asobi for this new phenomena in town. That's all I'm going to say for now. Brother Marong, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Father Mose.
At least with you, I know. You know what's up. But Pap Samba.
Yes, sir.
It was interesting week. Always. And bro, did you see that Pastef? Oh my goodness. I'm like, what in the world? I'm not very, I have to be honest, I'm not very crazy about Sonko and their arresting of people like Badara Gajaga and going after, especially muscling the press. I have issues with that. But hey, you got to give it to him. Somehow, Senegalese, they still believe in him. I mean, it was unbelievable. You're talking about crowd? Everybody forgot about even the crowd that was at the Hakalang. when we saw that crowd, my boy Fatih called me and said, "Man, just got some crowd be at Hakalang." After seeing Sonko, bro, I don't know what I can say about that Hakalang.
No, it's not even the same. Because if there is one thing that Sonko has been able to do, man, this is the same guy who called for a rally where people had to pay to get in. And it was a sold out crowd, and you listen to the Senegalese and the love that they have for this guy. But that, Musa, that brings me to something else.
Yes.
Our friend Dr. Cisse went on Coffee Time. And when Dr. Cisse spoke, we know who he was talking about. He cannot spin that. He was talking about Senegal. Because if you look at the sub-region, Sierra Leone voted for the incumbent. Ivory Coast, the incumbent. There was no incumbent who was voted out except Macky Sall. Unless you want to talk about the people that came through the barrel of the gun. Those people were not taken away by the people. They came and usurped power. And his argument that when people, what you will call it, sleepwalked into replacing governments with people have no idea, to me is the saddest argument ever. Second, the first thing, Musa, why should a state minister, in fact, indulge in such nonsense? That's what you call it, because it doesn't make sense. You went to Senegal and talk about that the Gambian opposition, we do not have credible opposition. And you were there touting the relationship that we have with the current administration. That's what you were touting. You came to the Gambia, and the first thing that you do is pretty much trying to attack this government, because when you said that people are regretting why they voted for them, it's an attack. And I think it's silly. And I think I love Dr. Men. He's my boy. But he really needs to tone it down, because it does not make sense. I don't think it helps him as a politician or the government in itself. He has now become effectively the attack dog of the NPP government for no reason. Attacking people, calling your opponents, or they spend 10 years without getting a degree. Just utter nonsense. You know, people are, what do they call them? Escorts. Come on, man. And it's the same nonsense he did to Alaji Barrow until that guy came so heavy-handed on him. People were saying, oh, Alaji went too far. Because that's what you call for. If you're questioning my integrity and attacking me, what do you expect from people to come? Now, if you do not want to be criticized, don't become a politician. And these are the same people who came and sold us this cacophony story of being the new political, what do they call it, guys. We will not be going attacking people. We'll be bringing a politics of Nakala to the issues as if you did not have that before. And now you've reduced yourself to nothing. First, to the people that he attacked. The Kemo Bojang, that's who he was alluding to. I will not be too worried, because it's the same guy who sat before the whole nation and questioned Adama Barrow's credential and said that he was clueless. He went to another forum where he challenged OJ and said, why did you see Halifa Sallah in the hall and select Adama Barrow as your flag bearer? The same guy who had interviews and said that electing Adama Barrow would be the worst thing that the Gambians could do because he cannot be trusted. Today, he's become his biggest praise singer. So to those that he is attacking, hey, don't worry. Maybe very soon he would also join your movement. But I think it's he needs to move away from this politics of attacking people personally. Deal with the issues. That's what you promise people when you're coming into the political scene. Now, all of a sudden, you cannot even talk about issues without delving into attacking people. I think it's just utter nonsense. But that's just me.
Utter nonsense. And I like Abdunjai. Say hi to Kaur Dandimayo, Sarambuti Chel. You're watching the 40 people by the people from my hometown of Kaur. Pasamba, you know my the way I always used to talk about Dr. Cisse. And I want to take this opportunity to publicly apologize to Pata PJ. We've always had this years ago when Dr. Cisse launches, this was even before he launched the CA, Citizen Alliance, and we've always argued, and the way he was basically characterizing Dr. Cisse, I had issues with that. And he was right and I was wrong. When Dr. Cisse called us Pasamba years ago when he was launching the CA, and we had a conference call with him, yourself, Banker, and myself. I mean, when we hang up, after we went back and forward, if there was one person that was very, in a way, open to the idea of working with Doctor, was me. You guys were much more cautious. In him, I saw a young guy, and I'm a sucker for people that preach that we have to do things differently. I had an open mind about the individual. Even fast forward, when we first had him on this platform, or even before he came, I said when he joined, when he was made Minister of Information, what did I say? He was going to be an asset. I wasn't looking at whether I agree with him as far as issues are concerned, but I thought that it would be a different kind of politics. Here you have somebody who is going to be talking about the issues. And I'm not, there are things that he has done right. The Mansakunda coming and talking about policies of this government, whether one agrees or not. But unfortunately, you said attack dog. And that's what he has become. Doctor has become totally overtly ambitious and anything goes. Doctor's behavior is nasty, is low down, nasty, and is disgusting. You know, I listened to the same interview. He talked about Kemo Bojang. Whether it took him 29, 30 years to get a degree, one thing I can tell you, if you are to come from the galaxy planet and you come to Earth and you listen to both individuals, both Kemo and Dr. Cisse, you will have a hard time distinguishing who is the doctor and who is not. And to somehow trying to caricature suufeel, ki nga suufeel nit dafa baaxut. Doomi nit ku baax, like my mom used to say, du def loolu. Since the movement was launched, I want somebody to tell me, what have they even said about this government or even Dr. Cisse himself to warrant, to personalize and attack these individuals? Nekufa, why would you try to call these people Ibrahim Diba? Ngane, all he does is Zebe, America, England. Bro, America, Gambia. Bro, here is a guy who is taking care of his family.
Honestly.
Honestly. We've seen it all. Rahas nañ bool, lu nekk lañ def to take care of ourselves. So you will never see somebody, seriously, who has that orientation, the German suufeel nit, how he's making a living. Because it doesn't matter. So whatever disagreements you have with Ibrahim Adiba, why would you try to poo-poo? And then this doctor has a problem with escort. How many people are just lying, making shit up about people. You are Minister of Information. And all you can do, because you don't like what the person is saying, or whoever the hell the person is, Ngane suufeel, yaha deram. Doctor's politics is nasty. I'm telling you, it's very nasty. There are a lot of people in that government that we are all, Ibrahim Asila wouldn't say that. I can guarantee you. Ibrahim, I would disagree with him. A lot of things. He wouldn't say that. There are people, Nyohamne, within that government. They understand they will do whatever it needs to be done to re-elect Barrow. But my friend, you don't have to be nasty. Why? For what reason? Doctor's behavior is nasty. And I think he needs to change that. He needs to stick with the issues. You are a doctor supposedly in political science. My friend, talk about the issues. Let's elevate the discussion. Let's have our disagreements. A cabinet made up of these people. Seriously? Do you know if I were to handpick, cherry pick each and every one of them, going all the way to the guy who is actually running this country?
The guy you refer to as clueless.
Yes, do you want us to really go into that? My friend, we don't have to do that. Really? Doctor, Devandanka.
Sabari.
Sabari, li dara jaru ko fi. Like, elek na ñew. Te jarna se, jarna bay xel. Why no you wanna prove to the NPP so that you'll be seen as, come on now. Bro, jaruko. Leave Ibrahim Diba alone, leave Kemo Baji alone. Leave
Kemo Baji?
Kemo Bojang alone. And then leave MC Cham alone. Bul tutil ninyi. Leave, disagree with people. But hey, what can I say? I'm disappointed in Doctor, and I think his politics is very nasty. And actually, his politics is very dangerous, if you ask me. Can you imagine Doctor being the president of this country? Seriously? Oh, no. Brother Marong.
No, sorry, Balanganyo, I just wanted to make, when I said defeated Macky Sall, of course, Maki's party was on the ballot. That's what was defeated by his hand-picked candidate. So that's what it, and we knew because Doctor was given the opportunity to say, no, I'm not talking about Senegal, but he would not. So of course he was talking about Senegal, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you very much, Kewa Langsane. You see political antenne, you can good Musa Sadundaka. Sorry, go right ahead.
No, I hear you guys, and as Musa said, you know, Doctor is all of our brothers. So, I mean, I like him a lot, and he was as I said, he's part of the favorite ministers. But man, last week I had to take him down. He's no more on the list anymore. So I decided to pick Drame, education. On the bus, I replaced her with Doctor. So, but I think the bigger picture here is, Musa, there's a couple of things that are disturbing, and also it kind of mirrors into what these politicians who we call, and we also think they could make strides in the political discussion. So, for example, Doctor by trade, he's a political scientist. I mean, even taking that shot at Senegal, what I was thinking was, does he really, really understand the political dynamics of Senegal and what brought about that change? Why did people rise up? Up to today, what are some of the things that these folks, PASTEF is fighting for? What are they trying to uproot? I mean, you could. I mean, if you're saying steady, and you're thinking that Macky Sall is somehow a role model, I really think you need to go back and study the politics very, very well. I mean, because I think I was taken aback when he said that, because there is absolutely nothing steady about Macky Sall. I mean, with everything that's coming on, you know, hiding your debt with IMF, international bodies, and they are trying to reveal things that were given to friends and family, and every single day revelations are coming up. Do you want that? Do you call that steady? And if you look at from Senghor, Abdou Diouf, Abdoulaye Wade, Macky Sall, look at the dynamism of Senegal's politics, and it brings the central theme of what were they fighting for, and what did they model to reach to what they are today. So coming there and taking a swipe at them, I would like to hear from him more, and then maybe he can come in here. And I want to have a good conversation. What his understanding of the political dynamics of Senegal is, because it brings the central theme of Doctor was off the mark by every account. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand it, because I think Senegal has modeled an energy, and they have injected a lot of awareness within the sub-region. And if you have to take it, you have to study some of the things that they do prior to the elections that propel new energy and new leadership who took the mantle from Macky Sall. So someone who's been in academia saying such things kind of, I saw even the guy, from Senegal, I think he's a passive guy in New York, take a swipe, and everything that he said is steady on. He says politicians, when they are losing, when they knew their message is not resonating, when they knew that the moral fabric of a society is falling underneath them, what they do is they go under the attack, not based on facts and studies, but is based on a mere assumption and guess. And I think that's what Doctor is saying right here. It was not based on any study that he would point to or facts that Senegal somehow, the situation they are in today is worse than what they were in 4 years ago. There's absolutely no study that he could, and moving forward, you guys forget about mentioning Essa Fall. He says Essa Fall la moya manfuta. Who would say that to a well-respected guy, a respected statement? You may disagree with him, but why such a personal attack? Ibrahima, KMO, all of these people, it's not necessary. And to our sisters, one thing I'm going to let him know, man. I'm going to tell you, the sisters that you call escorts, I am telling you right now, Gambia leaned on these sisters when it was hard. They were very resourceful. They were very steady. They were very determined. Nothing deterred them from the bigger picture, which was to fight against dictatorship. Whoever, it doesn't matter whether you are this political party or wherever Gambia need them, they will rise up and come together. And I think it's beyond the dignity of a minister to insult those people. These people are family members. They are somebody's sister, aunts, cousins. You cannot be swayed by this political euphoria. I am telling you right now, that's why he needs to reflect on what he says. But it seems like the guy was kind of like on a roller coaster. He was blunder upon blunder upon blunder upon blunder. But you got to take a reset at least. You can't be saying stuff not backed by facts now. So insulting sisters, Ibrahima Diba, Zepe. Well, you know what? Ibrahima's wife is in Seattle. She, by the way, just for Doctor to know, Ibrahima's wife is a pharmacist. She is here and with her family. So Ibrahima doing that, she's earning an honest living. And knowing Ibrahima from back in the day,
he could have been selling drugs in the streets.
But exactly. So I think that saying that kind of stuff, I mean, it just sees the way they see politics. It seems like a chess game. I'm going for the the kitchen sink. I'm going to throw everything at the person and see whether it sticks. That's not what. This is why people are saying we need to elevate the conversation. We need something new. And the old way, they haven't talked any single policy on that platform. You can say it's a political rally, whatever. Single thing that they say on that platform that they're going to elevate Gambians' life and to make them better. No, they didn't do it. Personal attacks upon personal attack. Personal attacks upon personal. What is that going to do for you? Today, it puts you in a bind because for some of us, I tell you what, I lost. That's not how I see politics. I think you were a rising star, young, vibrant person, but just personal attack. You don't have anything to offer. Taking dig at people. I think it's just totally uncalled for. The portfolio and the experience, the work that SFL does, I hope and I wish someday, Dr. Cisse would walk into the shoes of Dr. Esam Baifal. I mean, it's just the truth, Musa. If we come here, we don't need to be siding and all that. If someone does something wrong, we need to be able to call it out as it is. And Doctor was wrong. And what he does was not facts, but he said those based on personal convenience. And I'm not sure whether his boss called him, because I saw him. And you know what is also troubling? When Doctor was doing those attacks, Sidinya woke up to Doctor on the podium and hand him a note. And I don't know whether you guys saw that. And I think there was some garbage that he needs to spew onto decent Gambians, because that's the political style that. But you don't have to come to that level, though. I mean, I think Doctor knows better, and Doctor can do better, and it doesn't have to come to that level, you know. And it's very, very troubling. Yes.
No one told him the things that he was saying, and I'm not saying that that's what you're inferring. The guy was playing nasty politics. That's what he was doing. What he said, SFL. Now, you can disagree, TRRC. Really, the guy did a heck of a job. So the Kojemo Sufel, I don't think that's the way to go. And can you imagine, he kept calling Talib Ahmed Bensouda boy. Can you imagine that kind of nonsense? Boy, Nedam Kojemo Sufel. And Peter said, who are you talking about? Muneko, that boy. You need to get away from that. Somebody who's been at least elected 10 years as a mayor of a municipality, you calling him a boy. I mean, come on, man. Whether you agree or disagree with the gentleman, Doctor needs to get out of that. And he knew exactly what he was doing. This Senegalese comment, you think it's about research? It isn't about that. He's telling Gambians, look, you better make a mistake because Senegal make a rechunende. And I don't want you guys to do that. These people are scared to death because they know come 2026, that whole deck will be scrambled. That's what he's fighting for survival. Why?
But he knows, but he was making shit up. That's what the truth is.
But I just wanted to respond to Ida Jallo. But what is wrong? You're talking about Senegal. Listen, if Pasamba talks about Senegal, that's a different thing. If Musa Ajeng talks about Senegal, that's a different thing. But if you're a sitting minister, the mouthpiece of the government, you went to a podium, to a forum where you were speaking on behalf of the government. Anything that you say against an other government can be attributed to being the position of your government. That's just what it is. If he was just an ordinary citizen talking about Senegal, who cares? People do that every day. Alhaji Ndour is all over Macky Sall and his people every single day. But you will not hear us come to this program discuss him. No, because he holds no portfolio. But if you're a state minister representing a government and your closest ally got them the in fact question the decision by the citizens of that country in electing that ally, then it becomes a problem. But anyway, no, Del Alexandra, no, that was not a swipe at Doctor. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, there are so many things that when I say honest, maybe a lot of people to survive. But he chose the right one.
Like they said, Yange Rube.
Wow, no, Nagalatura. We have Mr. Kah here. But before this thing, I just wanted to wish Kara. He's always here. Yankuba.
Kara Yakub.
Yeah, today is his birthday. He's one of the nicest people most you will ever meet. A wonderful human being. Lives here in DC. That's why he's great. My brother, wishing you a very, very happy birthday.
I hope he says nice things about me so that I can wish him.
Say it again? He said what?
Man, I hope he's one of them that always says nice things about me. Then
no, he always say nice things about you. I mean, he was in Seattle in August. Really, really nice guy. You know, they name him after this big sheikh. It's Kara Yakub. So whenever you see him, tell him to pray for you, man.
Exactly. By no other than Tabaxx Reewmi. Yes. I mean, people say he's young, he's dynamic, and he's charismatic. I mean, I didn't really know much about him until I listened to him on Coffee Time, and I was like, "Wow, Pasamba, I called you." Yep. And I was, bro, you gotta go listen to this young guy. I mean, I was just inspired, you know. But hey, who am I? The guy is right here, and he's gonna tell his own story. And Pasamba, I'm gonna allow you to do the
welcome Mr. Kah, and like we're trying to do before the end of the year, we are trying to line up as many aspiring leaders as possible on the show. Next week we will have a big one, and we are also talking to Mr. Dabo and his team to have him here. We'll also want to bring Halifa. We've spoken to Esa. We're going to talk to all these people to bring them here, Mama Kande and everybody, to come and talk to the Gambian people, the diaspora, about what their aspirations are. Now we have Mr. Kah, who I've listened to, very interesting. And we're happy to have you here, Mr. Kah. And I will just start by giving you an opportunity to first tell our viewers who Mr. Kah is and why are you in politics?
Thank you very much, sir. I am grateful. Really, it is a pleasure and an honor to me sharing this platform with distinguished panelists like the three of you. I am really, really honored, and I must say, for the people by the people, so is one that I keenly follow because there is always an opportunity to learn a new thing, determined by the variety of the people that you bring into this program. So I'm grateful and I'm very, very happy. It's a pleasure. So I'm sending my warmest regards and greetings to all of you. To all Gambians in the diaspora, my warmest greetings, and then the Gambian people in general at home as well. Our followers and all stakeholders. Alhamdulillah, I am Ahmadou Kah, like you said, and I hail from the north of the Gambia, Lower Nyomi, a village called Medina Serimas. So actually, also in a nutshell, that's where I grew up as an ordinary Gambian, an average Gambian, like any other child. Grew up, went for my basic and secondary education all in the Nyomis, starting from Medina Serimas Primary, then to Berending Upper Basic School, then to SL Senior Secondary School. And like any other still average Gambian, come to the city to further develop ourselves, and then also to look around opportunities that actually are available from within our country. So, and then, yeah, in a nutshell, again, like maybe a little about my education. I then started after my high school with the GDTI, where I studied a program, ABE, Association of Business Executive. And then after I have completed the advanced diploma on that program, then actually the management at that school at that time saw that there were maybe some skills in me that I could stay and join the rank of their trainers. And actually, of course, where I started my first work as a lecturer at the GDTI. And then that's also, I continued on my program as well with the Institute of Commercial Management, where I did a postgraduate. And then finally also with the University of Subdeco with a master's in finance and in management, specialization in finance. From 2008, of course, I was at the GTTI as a lecturer. Around 2015, I was engaged in politics. I tried to get myself engaged in politics because I was actually one of those youngsters that believed that Gambia needed to see a change of government and a change of leadership, so that, of course, we will see new minds, new possibilities at the help of government. Somewhere around that time, because I'm in a public sector, I was probably asked that, of course, I would have to stay away from public service as per the constitution or the service guide. Then I did that, and then around that time, and then later on, I took some private jobs, did some private work. Briefly also within that period, worked for the Gambian Milling Corporation that was immediately after the elections. But I didn't last there, maybe about a year. Then I decided to leave again. And then in 2017, then I returned back to education at the Management Development Institute, where I also was serving as a trainer. And then as of last month, I have also taken another leave of absence for 1 year so that I can concentrate more on Gambian politics. So Ahmadou Kah is a politician, an average ordinary Gambian. Of course, like maybe people would say that like he is a calm person. He's maybe somebody who listens to others, maybe easygoing or stuff like that. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But actually, maybe yes, Ahmadou Kah is just a humble, ordinary Gambian. So
yes. So Mr. Kah, thank you very much for that. I listened to Mr. Dabo's interview the last time, and I suspect you did the same. And there was something that he said that all these new politicians and political organizations have not said or done anything that the UDP, NRP, or DOI had not done, at least for the past 30 years. Why do you think it was important for you to branch off instead of joining any of these groups? And what do you think? Yeah, what do you think you'll bring to the table that will be different from all, let's say, the UDP or DOI or all of these existing politicians are not bringing to the table?
Thank you, sir. I think maybe they're looking at it from a different perspective. The way I see things is that I can give you an example. A car of a 1960, 1970, 1980 still serve the same or the basic objective of a car of 2025. But actually, if you were to drive the two, then you realize that they're actually very different. The gadgets that will prevail in a vehicle of 2025 actually look quite different from that of 1960 or 1970. Maybe they're only looking at it from a perspective, from the main perspective. That is, we're all trying to bring about a change in our country, develop our country. That is the purpose of all political organizations. But actually, again, the reason we are different because the generation that needs changes today, the generation that have the most pressing needs from the government today, is outside of their own scope. Now, this is the generation today, a new set of people, new set of generations that have needs and aspirations that are different from their time. So actually, for example, we as youngsters have more understanding about what happened on TikTok, how to create jobs on TikTok. You will see usually when the elders probably are talking about political creating job opportunities, it has always been the same traditional approaches. So what are they talking about creating job? Because TikTok is doing very well and it is creating a lot of jobs, millions of jobs around America and Asia. So the same thing should also happen to Africa. Did they know? No. So that is the new things that I'm talking about. So actually, again, we're still different because I can give an example. We would publish our manifesto, but if you come to our manifesto, you will see. I have not seen many political parties that in their manifesto would have their first main agenda talking about the people, building the people, the Gambian people. I usually say that to most of the political parties, most of the political organizations, it is always about what to do with agriculture, what to do with that, what to do with that. But of course, for any organization to prosper, for any country to prosper, they need resources that will take that country to another level. So there is no resource that is as important, as necessary, that requires investment more than the people themselves. The problem that Gambia has today actually is we have failed over decades to build the people that will take country from one stage to another stage, an advanced stage. There are certain people, what they do, or certain category of people, what they would do is only to drain a country or take country backward. So actually, have we been able to build the people, the right people, arming them with the right skills, right mindset, right attitude, right belief, patriotism, ideas, all of that, meeting the right people that will take a country from one. So when we are coming in, we're saying in the agenda Tabaxx Reewmi, that point number one, or agenda, top on our agenda, is the people approach. Have we built the people that will take Gambia from one stage to another? Have we thought about investing in people, in resources, right, in people? We cannot concentrate only, example, if you look at, for example, the government of the Gambia, they probably invest in recurrence, in vehicles, in whatsoever those other kind of assets, but the people themselves. So this is one thing that we are saying, that as for Tabaxx Reewmi, right, we have come with one agenda, a mission. To us, it is a mission. And the mission is Gambia would have to make sure we start a new chapter. And that chapter will have to be determined by the whole of Gambian people together. What we are going to do is to see to it that we've brought people together. We have designed a roadmap that will, for once, take all of Gambian. What is the approach to take the poorest Gambian from poverty to a state of dignity? So we are different, of course. And like I said earlier on, they need to understand that today, time has changed. A lot of things have changed around the world. And one of which, of course, is politics and political dispensation. The needs of the people that owns the resources of this country has changed over time, And therefore, today, people want to see things differently, being done differently. And for that reason, I believe we are different. Like I just earlier said, take it as an example. A vehicle of a 1960 actually is different from a vehicle of a 2025. But of course, the main idea of owning a vehicle is to be able to drive to wherever you're going to. So of course, yes, we have come to do what they have been doing, but actually, I can relate more to my age mate than they will do. In fact, to most of them, if they are not informed about the challenges that we're going through as youngsters, as maybe like, let's say, fresh graduates. Also, again, the kind of competition that is happening around the world that we want to get ourselves involved into. Many governments today probably want to get into content creation because there's a lot of money in content creation. So do they know how to explore those opportunities? So therefore, I believe, of course, yes, we have so much respect. We have learned a lot from them. But of course, I believe it is now about time that Gambian people start to explore new ideas and explore new scenarios, inshallah. Yeah.
Marut, he wants to join the
He wants to join me. He was there with the
Fana.
Exactly.
So Mr. Kah, I'm still going to follow up with what Pastor said. Yeah, it was an interesting answer about a car 1960.
My apologies.
No. You're all right. So, Mr. Kah, we all witnessed what transpired before 2021. Parties were coming from every direction. I've always had a debate with Pa Samba. In fact, he sent something to Coffee Time, basically saying that, the more the merrier. This was when they increased the registration fee for new political parties. And the next day, I went back and debunked that because I had issues with that. Because for me, having all these political parties, in as much as we want democracy and everybody to get involved and open the system, we also do not want it to become a clownish show. And when I listen to you on Coffee Time, and when I listen to you today, you're saying you are different because the focus is going to be about the people. In other words, dangay tabax nit ñi in order to be able to even bring the change that is necessary. Now, Doi, anybody, when I listen to you, I'm listening to Doi. The message is basically the same. Khalifa has been saying that for the past 30, 40 years. Why wouldn't an Ahmadou Kah, Tabaxx Reewmi, see an opening and say, you know what, I can align the principles of Doi because that's what I believe in. But no. Ahmadou Kah wants to make it about Ahmadou Kah. Why am I wrong?
Yeah. That's incorrect, sir. Like I can give you an example. Yes, Doi had its time. Yeah, and then if one would tell you, the elders would tell us, when Doi also started like we started at the humble beginnings, people listened to them keenly. And at that point in time, Doi was able to probably to give the right examples to the Gambian people to understand why it was necessary that a new way of doing things was done, and that was Doi. So what I'm trying to say is that actually today, the kind of example that we relate to the current generation, that makes the majority of Gambians probably we will be at a position to do more than a lot of our elders. So I'm saying, I have so much respect for our elders and they have done so much, right? But I believe so much in let's say what we refer to as our culture, like we say in our local languages. So we cannot be teaching that to our children in the houses, that we should have a situation, we should have a system where over time we can hand over this country, we can hand over affairs of this country into another generation so that they would come in and bring new ways of doing things, bring new development agenda. And after all, that is not what we're seeing happening in the Gambia. So yes, like you were saying, it's true. But the problem here is, today, this new breed of politicians you're seeing, should be in a position, in a more strategic position to relate to majority of Gambian voters today than the people that have been doing for quite a long time. So actually, you know, I'm just trying to say that the elders as well should also see the need that they train us. We have looked up to them over decades. We have been learning from them over decades, and it is very, very important that governance, a system, governance also run like usually as well alongside ages. Because if you look at Gambia, those that have been running Gambia since after Jawara are all the 60s. Like all these people you're talking about.
I don't want to interject. I don't really like where you're going with this, because you're making it sound like it's a question of age. I thought Tabaxx Reewmi, you have core beliefs, a message that you think it has to be, it's going to be different. You said we want to invest in the people. Then you got Tabaxx. All I'm saying is this: when I listen to you, you sound like Doy. You're a young man. Don't tell me you cannot go into that enterprise with your this. You said you can relate to the young people better. Don't you think that even makes it strategically? Lolumo gonna make sense. The fact that you can relate to the young people better. So the problem is not the message. The problem is relatability. You joining that party, you bring in that youth, you bring in that relatability. Because again, unless you tell me that your core beliefs is different from the core beliefs of Doi, because I listen to you, seriously. And if I close my eyes, I was basically listening to Halifa Sallah. Tell me that I am wrong in terms of the core beliefs, investing in the people, before you can even go into policies like agriculture, before you can go to environment. You're saying those are secondary. Let's tabax ninjeka. Why am I wrong? Or is it just, you just think that you have to have your own party, you have to have it your own way, and that you want to be president? Why are you, why am I wrong?
No, I don't have to have my own party, and I don't have to actually be the president to be able to, you know, do a lot of things. But what I'm trying to say is like, you see, sometimes when you're a leader, aspiring to be a leader probably, and maybe you have been guided by probably, let's say, good thoughts, science, that you have a vision, and then you have a roadmap to achieving that vision, right? Maybe probably best fit would be for you to try and explore the waters, right? That is actually what's happening. But again, like I said earlier on, you see, when I am out, I can tell you what is happening around. Because when I'm out and I'm talking to Gambians, I can always see how they relate to me. So I'm not saying that we are reinventing the wheel, right? I'm not saying that, but that's why I told you. Actually, today, probably, you see, we ourselves probably could relate more with the youths and, you know, the majority of the Gambian voters today than a lot of, you know, the elders and so on and so on. So for me, the way I'm seeing things, it's not supposed to be about political parties to wait and say, yes, the youth should come and join us to build this. No. I believe political parties should, right, also, you know, move forward, right, and making so through their ranks, the youths join them through their ranks. It is the political party that will provide that opportunity. Not necessarily that the youth will have to try to come down and put themselves into those political parties to rebrand those political parties. So what should happen is political parties are supposed to make so that over time that they have been replacing some of the leaders, so that, you know, for as long as time goes, the political parties would still be at par with the current needs, with the current aspirations of the people. So it is not supposed to be about because we are trying to do what we have to do. And that is to take part in to show our interest and take part in our political dispensation. That is what we need to do. So it is the political parties now that are supposed to provide situation where they make sure the youth are also being, you know, put in places from within their ranks, so that those political parties can continue to be at par with the times and current situation. So I'm not trying to say that I have to actually, you know, do my thing my own, but I'm just trying to say, with reality on the ground, I've realized and I've seen that I can relate to the youth more than I would be able to even do when I've joined a political party, for example. Because example today, some of the youth that are looking up to us that are queuing outside to come out and listen to us. It is because they want to listen to us and they want to see us at a certain level. Yes, we're seeing hope, in this young man that tomorrow, if he is trusted and trusted with the country, actually is going to change the country from one state to another, positive one for that matter, right? So if you were to sink into another political party, would you have the standing, the status probably to be able to do that at that capacity? So all you will be doing is probably, I'm calling you to go and join another political party. That's what you would say. Example, if I have joined AA party, when I go out to the people, I would say, I'm calling you to go and join AA party. The people have been here with AA party. They have been seeing and listening and hearing to the leader of AA party and yet to subscribe to the ideology. But when you have come with a new way of transmitting messages to them, you see that the responses are good. I think it is only good, for that in that situation to keep on pushing and continue that agenda and to make sure the agenda is sold as many as possible of young Gambians within the country. And I believe that will accumulatively bring about the very change that we want. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kah. Thank you very much. Brother Maron.
Yeah, Mr. Ba, thank you very much. At your opening, you recognize Musa and Coach, but you didn't recognize me. But I recognize myself. So, but we're three panelists here. So, but it's all good. You started off the good bad start, but we still, I still love you, Mr. Kah. I still love you, man. All right. Hey, I heard your resume. Quite impressive. My question to you is, what is your biggest achievement through the years leading up to today that you formed this magnificent theme that is Tabaxx Reewmi? So what is your biggest accomplishment?
He might have.
Is he there?
He might have frozen. Yeah. Yeah, interesting, Pap Samba. I like his his analogy with 1960.
I don't think he meant any mean spirited in that. Don't try to spin that stuff, man. All right.
It's funny. When Dr. Cisse, was it Dr. Cisse? Or was it Esa?
You become what is the guy? Is the economy stupid? What is it called? The democratic strategies. What is his name?
James Carville.
James Carville, man. Triangulation, man. You like to do everything, man. You just kind of make an underlying meaning to it.
Then it is people they are driving 1960 vehicles.
Oh man.
Ahmadou Kah 1960 vehicle bi yow tamit sa vehicle bi ngay
no, it's the Hakalan road bila.
Yes. So you heard my question, or I need to repeat it?
Yeah. Please, kindly do so, sir.
Okay, no problem. So I said I listened to your resume, quite impressive. My question to you was, what would you say was your greatest achievement during your tenure leading up to today when you get into politics?
I believe I can say the contribution that we have done during 2016 to bring about a change. I think I have so much admiration for the efforts that we have done during that time. So actually, I believe it was from within our time that we have witnessed a democratically elected a change of government democratically. I think that was something actually good. I can also keep on saying that over time, so many people have gone through me, and I have supported them, mold them out to be very productive people in society, especially in the case of training for entrepreneurship, my personal relationship that I have with people, maybe that actually at some point in time have faced the challenges that life had to offer. And Alhamdulillah, because we've come in contact, we were able to guide them to a way that, you know, they were able to take up the actually a meaningful journey on their life. So those are things really that I have valued so much. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So you talk about aspiring leadership, and I wanted to ask you, during those times, obviously, I listened to you, and you just mentioned, as a leader, you were faced with challenges. I want us to know, well, you can share with the leaders, the viewers, a time where you were faced with challenges or difficulties, and how you went about overcoming those, challenges.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, as a leader, especially I'll take the political domain today. Like we still, face challenges that are, designed by default. For example, like when in politics, and of course, politics is an expensive investment, is an expensive way. Right, like that the political leaders in the Gambia have probably infected the political situation they have made it very nasty, that the instead of training the Gambian people, supporting them to be able to listen to ideas, that what would determine the politicians, the status of politicians from within Australia should have been the value and the quality of their messaging, right? Instead, this has been diluted and replaced with, example, the money politics. So we that are emerging politicians have always faced that financial burden as a challenge, right? But again, what we have done to be able to maneuver around is that we understand that the people that follow you, of course, will just follow you in whatever you call them upon. So you call them on a show of money, financial mismanagement, so they will just follow you to that. And of course, they would, instead of seeing you as a leader that they should trust or entrust their country with, in fact, they will in return see you as a money bag. So what we have done to be able to maneuver around, to be able to get ourselves out of these challenges, is to face the Gambian people. And that's what we have always done. When we go out, we face the Gambian people and we tell them that we are asking you to come together, to join us in this endeavor to bring about a change that will take Gambia from the challenges, the bitterness of life that we live today, to something better, for all of us. And therefore, we make it always very clear to them that we do not have money. We are calling you into an agenda. We are calling you to come to a program that we believe is well designed and can take Gambia out of the challenges that we are, so that everybody will benefit. All of us will benefit together. So we will tell them very clearly, we do not have the money to be dishing out to all our followers. In fact, I will tell Gambians, and I always tell Gambians, if I had the money, I will still not give it to them. I will give it to my family, because I don't want a situation where they will entrust me with leadership and I will go to Banjul and I will be trying to enrich my family. You cannot be a president and then at the end of the day, you go back to your family after your retirement as a poor person or as a destitute or somebody who cannot even pay his bills. That wouldn't make sense. So therefore, to get yourself out of those predicaments that you may face tomorrow, then actually what we have done is to tell the Gambian the truth. We're calling you to come to follow us on this agenda. But the truth is, this is not a money-making approach. If you believe that the only way, or what will make you to support us, to rally behind us, is for us to fill your pockets, then stay away. We're not going to be shy in saying that. And in fact, again, I have done one thing and it has worked. Like we usually have said, cut your coat according to your size. In fact, when I'm going out, wherever I'm going out to my political gatherings, usually I go with my car and another car of one of my executive members. And we go 16 or 7 or 12 member delegation of our own executive. So when we go out, people will come out in their numbers. Wherever we go, the number you see are all numbers of that particular community. So I think the challenges is the political environment that has been constructed by the politicians, right? That have been here playing, this building, crafting this political environment, met with a treachery, with money politics, with deception. In fact, look at what they have created. They have created a situation where they've made every Gambian believe that if somebody is of high moral, if of good character, of good standing, then politics is not a fit for you. That politics is supposed to be for people that can say this thing tomorrow, and the next day they will swallow all that they have vomited earlier on. So this is a challenge. This is the challenge that we face. But of course, we believe, and we have done it, and we believe it has worked for us, that the best way to get ourselves out of this is to tell the Gambian people the truth, and that is what we have been doing since we started. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, go ahead, Coach.
Mr. Kah, as we speak, the Minister of Finance has tabled the draft budget for 2026. In it, until Parliament does otherwise, we will be spending about 13 billion to finance debt. The National Assembly are asking for more allowances. You look at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I think the total allocation is about 100 and something million.
Yeah.
Reminding me what happened in 1992 when they tabled the budget after establishing the Ministry of Youth and Sports, where the allocation was 1 million. And I remember Usainu Njai then, who was a nominated member, saying that it looks like they are killing the baby before the baby even takes their first breath on earth. What would your government do different from the status quo, from independence to now, in budgetary allocations?
Yeah, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. What we would do different is making so any budget that government is going to do should be specifically tied up to the aspirations and program of the government. So what the Gambian people need to learn is that what the government of the Gambia, the current government of the Gambia, would proffer or would say about their agenda, about the National Development Plan and so on, actually is not the case, it's not true, because at the end of the day, it has no reflection to the budget of the Gambia. Example, if you were to go through the National Development Plan, they'll be talking about aspirations for youth. Now, at the end of the day, the percentage allocated to youth development actually does not resonate with that. So what we will do as a government is to making so any budget that we're going to prepare, we're going to allocate, we're going to put in place for the Gambian people for any fiscal year, that budget will be solely determined by what we have already outlined in Agenda Tabaxx Reewmi. Example, we're talking about for youth development, that what the Gambian youth need to do. Here, the government of the Gambia, to develop the youth, would have to use certain resources. One of them is going to be policy. Policy is important. It is policy that saves growth. So therefore, again, let me just give an example. Like I'm talking to you, I am using some a microphone here, and standing on an iron rod. This iron rod, for example, was imported into the country. So how many youngsters, young Gambians, are there and are doing welding and fabrication? For example, take another good example. We have Indians, we have Chinese all in the Gambia. What they've come to the Gambia, to do is to buy what we refer to as ferrite, iron. So is there even any a strong foundry in the Gambia? There was only one supported, I think, was by the Turkish in the Gambia Technical Training Institute. But other than, is there any foundry in the Gambia? And that foundry, probably, there could have been a huge foundry, a very big one for that matter, buying this ferrite from the local people, transforming it into other materials, and this would have been shaped by youths that have been trained with the right skills to do the right fabrication needs. So therefore, then you will see, that being the case, our budget, for example, would have been tied into youth development. Now, what is going to go into skill development? Example, in fabrication. What is going to go into youth development in carpentry? This is how our government will do it. So that at the end of the day, by the time we spend the wealth of the nation, of the country, it will directly go into impacting the life and livelihood of the Gambian people, and especially the youth. So I believe what the government of the Gambia is doing is not okay, it's not right. Example, take again. This is a government that will tell you that they have huge aspirations for agriculture. And if you scrutinize that budget allocation, you will see, in fact, most part of the budget that's going to go to agriculture is only going to go to what? Salaries, allowances, travels, and recurrence of vehicles and so on. Instead, a budget for agriculture should have been considering the huge farms that the government of the Gambia should build around country, the irrigation system that the government of the Gambia is supposed to plant around country. That is actually what the budget was supposed to be about, for example. And the same thing should also go in all sectors of our economy. So the budget should be tied to outcomes, actually outcomes that will benefit the Gambian people directly, that will take the Gambian people out of the challenges that we live today to another stage, right, of dignity. No Gambian should be going home hungry now, should go to bed hungry. And all of these are supposed to be sorted out by the very budgets that we have. So we would have done something very, very different, especially when it comes to the extravagancy that happens around government. The parliamentarians paying themselves here and there, increasing their salaries, the judiciary increasing their salaries. The reason why we talk about developing the people is that we need people who would serve at parliament to know and understand that going into parliament is not about making money but serving. In fact, if the people that are in the judiciary, understood the judicial service to be about serving the Gambian people, actually salary would not have been a problem. You are a citizen of this country, for God's sake. We're just trying to ask, how much can you give to the Gambia as a country? What can you sacrifice for the Gambia as a country? That's actually what it is. Some people will start saying, yeah, because it's the judiciary, their job here and there, this we pay well. I don't take that. And I call that, I'm sorry to say, but I disagree. Because the teacher himself also is doing a lot of sacrifice, and there's no way we can have a country with the absence of the teacher. So we are at a stage where every Gambian is needed to come together and we sacrifice together. We build a country not for ourselves. Look, I usually tell people, if any member of government, if any leader is looking or expecting to benefit from the government that you serve, then you are a bad leader. You are not ready to build a country. A government and a leader should look into what will be the state of Gambia in 50 years to come, 80 years to come. So that you serve only looking for one benefit. And that is tomorrow you will be remembered, you will be at your grave and praise will be following you there. But not actually take any credit or any benefit from serving. So I believe what we would have done as a government would be to tie this budget to outcomes, right? And again, like I usually say, look, billahi, and I'm very serious about this. And I tell people, just look at it this way. What is the defense? What is the defense? What is the base? That because you are a minister, you need to go to work with a V8. What is the difference between a V8 and a C-class, Benz C-class that is costing 300,000? That you're only driving from, what do you do? From morning you drive from Serekunda to Bali. That's all you do with that car. Why? So what is the difference between that V8 and a RAV4 that could have been allocated to you? Being a minister by default, what is the basis that you should have a car for your wife and your family? So all this is because they don't have that patriotism. They don't feel that they are supposed to sacrifice for this country, to build this country. So what we were going to do as a government, as a people, is that we understand clearly that we have come to serve and only to serve. And therefore, the benefit that we'll be looking for is to be remembered tomorrow, that we'll be at our graves, and praise will be meeting us at our graves. Alhamdulillah, we are good. Yes.
So you're from the lower Nyome, upper Nyome area.
Mm-hmm.
Your people have never, according to Barrow and his government, they have never had roads. They've never had access to these roads. We've seen yesterday, it was a big fanfare, Hakalang Road. They said these people have never seen electricity. According to Dr. Cisse, if you want to believe him, up to 75% of our Gambian people now are benefiting from it. So everything that they have not seen since independence, they are seeing on the Barrow. Now you're going to those communities and you are telling them, and let's also not forget, they will tell you know what, Kafine one day daf ñu toroxal. Ñëw na fii di ñu nandal ay nandal naan ay domb lañ dafa daf ñu faj. Ku fi ne nag moom su passé nelaw dara du ko wax nit. Now you have to go to these people now and you have to send them a message. And the message is, you know what? The person that brought you these so-called roads, It's the Hakaland thing. I think whatever they did in Nyomi is affecting the internet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I guess Boy Fati wants to come in today, so Musa, you may send him a link or something.
He's never going to come.
He's never going to come.
Yeah, all he's going to do, Boy Fati and Sutu Dafe are the same. Boy Fati will say carry on. That's all he's going to say. That's it. But if you're part of something that you cannot defend, that's what happens. So you find it very hard.
And sometimes, the moment I get off the show, he would be the one calling me with all this rebuttal. I'm like, dude.
Well, you can do that. You can call in and do that live. That way everyone can hear you.
Exactly. And he said, oh no, I have downgraded you from chief strategist to junior strategist. Because he doesn't like what I'm saying.
Last time he said I confused the heck out of him. I don't understand my koto anymore.
I go, Bunker must be smoking something.
No.
Oh, so
looks like I'm having some kind of a network glitch, but
no, yeah, I know it's the Hakaland network. So like you get you get my drift. So now you have to go to these communities. You have to go to Pas, Chaho, or wherever these places are, Medina, and all these people. Now you have to convince these people. Dump Adama Barrow, who is not coming to your communities and kidnapping your people and accusing them of being dumbers. Forget him, who has given you these roads that he claims he has given people, this electricity. What do you expect to tell these people? And you can use any language that you want, where they would look at you and say, Mr. Kamidemi, coming for you, how is that conversation going to be like?
So can you please repeat the question, sir? I think I've missed a part of it.
No, the question is, how do you convince these people? Your neighborhood, where you're from.
But wow,
Never benefited from electricity. If you want to believe Dr. C said now 75% of our communities all have electricities and all that stuff.
Just yesterday,
coming to their villages and being kidnapped and to be given concoctions because of Jame believes that they are dumbers, they have to be cured. They have Jame who does not bother anybody, who does all he does is sleep and go after Usain Dabo. Now you want to tell them, you know what, now I want you guys to dump this guy and vote for me. How is that going to, what is that conversation going to be like?
Just yesterday, I told a group of people, like, we're now ending the rainy season. They have preparing their groundnuts for sale, right? They're working on trying to do the final part for their groundnuts. Now, what I told them is that they need to be reasonable. Was government there giving them farmlands? Did government give them machinery? What had government given them? Even fertilizer was sold to them. So at the end of the day, look at what's going to happen. Somebody that's sleeping in Banjul who don't even know what the color of a leaf of a groundnut, they don't even know, some of them, right? Will just wake up in Banjul one day and directly peg a price for their groundnut. That I'm telling them that the groundnut that they have, that they produce themselves, right? With their hard work, their sweat belongs to them. And not only that, should they sit on the table, but they should determine, and government, if the government wants their produce, should come and negotiate. I think what we need to do is that the people have been misled for quite a long. In fact, I even just told them, just yesterday, that the president is starting another tour that they call Me the People tour. And I told them, one thing that you need to know, there is nothing that is happening from within your communities that is the president is not aware of. The president is not Ahmadou Kah. I have only 2 eyes. The president's got hundreds of thousands of eyes. Every military personnel in the Gambia works for the president. In the military intelligence units, the police, right? The CID, the SIS, the alcalos, the governors, all of these people at the end of the day will have some sort of a report that will go through the chain of command up to the desk of the president. So just yesterday, as I told you, there is nothing that is happening within your communities that the president is not aware of. The president is very aware that most of you, more than 60% of you, don't have breakfast because you're so poor that you cannot buy it. That's the fact, that's the truth. Then the president also clearly knows that he's coming to you today because what he needs your votes. But the president's got nothing in return to offer to you or to give to you. right? So this is the kind of message that we are sending. Then also we are telling them that when the president had a budget, taking about 140 something million dollars to distribute among the affairs of all your children, all the youths in this country, hundreds of thousands, the president was at the same time be able to allocate almost $1 billion for his office, right? This is what I tell them. Then I also tell them that you all deserve, your children deserve quality education. But in fact, the president who leads this country does not trust the education system and will not have his own children go to our public school. In fact, the wife of the president will not set foot in any public hospital for treatment. This is the kind of message we send them, because we need to tell them the truth, so that when they look around, they will see that actually what we're telling them is actually what is happening. All of them, none of them ever saw the first lady walk into the RVTH, because they don't even trust the medical person in the RVTH. So they don't walk in there to get treatment. So actually, if the president had done the needful, what he must do, what the Gambian people expected from them, they would have built a proper health system through which themselves will not be taking our money to go and get treatment outside of Gambia, but instead would trust the very system, the very institution that has been entrusted to their care. So this is the kind of message we send them. And we're telling them, like I said, just only the truth and nothing else, that building Gambia requires all of us, our efforts. It's not going to be done by myself alone, not only another Gambia. All of us will have to come together and do it. But again, I also tell them that try to differentiate, try to remove all the misleading information that has been spreading around in politics, that they're not true, and people should do away with them. That, example, whoever becomes the president, of course, was ordained by Allah. I also believe that equally, but I believe them as themselves. If actually the president himself believed that, he will not go to them to seek for their votes. So you cannot allow the president to come and tell you something that he himself don't even believe in, right? So, and I also tell them that there is nobody, that in fact it is because they have been misled, that you will see, like you said, a poor Gambian like me in a poor community would not have any other thing to do except to stand in public, call the president, and would not have anything to say other than Mr. President, no. Mr. President, Garab, Mr. President, So that is how you will know that the depth of misinformation that people have been subjected to. Why would you beg for what is yours? Why would you beg for what belongs to you? The president cannot even provide meal for himself. We provide his meals. We provide education for his children. We provide health for his family. So there is nothing that the president is capable or able to do for himself. And that money, there is nobody that has been exempted from tax almost in the country, right? So everybody knows. In fact, because they believe that the farmer needs to pay, and because they're not in a formal setup, this is why the government will determine the price to which they will sell their own produce. So, and through that, the government will take their share out of their hard-earned wealth. So this is the kind of information that we sell them. And of course, they see it, that this is actually the fact, this is actually the truth, and this is actually what they were supposed to be told a long time ago. And of course, I believe it's making a gain. And of course, I believe the more we go in educating them, knowing them what is rightfully theirs, what their powers are, that sovereignty is in their hands, that power is in their hands, only because they do not know it. Look, let me tell you one thing, just take it as an example. There is most of the African government, especially wherever there is dictatorship, they are never bothered with the level of ignorance in their countries. They don't care, because they know that lack of education, formal education, good education works for them. Those that are Gambians, usually, that you see have the chance, the opportunity to get quality education, usually are the ones that are difficult to be fooled by the state. Exactly.
Yeah, well, let me let Musa come in, because when I hear you talk about the groundnut prices and all that, I'm like, oh, we've been doing that since the 80s, but 80 vehicles, I think, is cheap. But go ahead, Mo.
So with the groundnut, though, and this is what I've heard from the government side of, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, actually, they're buying the groundnuts and then basically subsidizing it, in other words. Because if they were to just go by what the international, what the market price is, it would be seriously. I mean, they're buying it. In other words, Dr. Cesar said they're buying it for $30,000 per ton. They're going to turn around and sell it for $22,000. So basically, how are you? I mean, how do you react to that? I mean, that's just
that's not actually true. That's not actually true.
So you
international market price is way higher than they buying granite from the Gambia. That's actually not true.
That's not true. Anyway, okay. Let me get to my question, Mr. Kah. The more I listen to you, and like I said, I've listened to you before. I mean, I see the passion, and I believe that your heart is in the right place, and then you're courageous, really. But Mr. Kah, though, looking at the political terrain, you were with GDC before, and then you guys worked with GDC. I mean, we all know what happened to that. Now, here you are by yourself, forming a new movement. Can you tell me the path for victory that come December 6th? Ahmadou Kah. I mean, because people don't see that. So it's going to make it very difficult for them to take you seriously. You're no different from some of these other people back in 2021. You formed Patirek so that affaire bi jegeñe, they will sit down and endorse Barrow. Also, affaire bi jegeñe, they're hoping for a coalition within the opposition and they will have a seat at the table. Cynical people like myself would think that. So that makes it very difficult, even though your messaging, the things that you are articulating are true policies. But I cannot see what's the path to victory for you. How are you going to go about doing that?
Yeah, and I can add to you, sir, that inshallah the victory is going to happen by in December of 2026. We're going to make it happen. I can tell you that, of course, yes, there are some challenges along the way. But the only people, for example, right, from within the Gambia, right, of course, who wouldn't see the path to that success, to that victory, are only the ones that we haven't visited yet or we haven't reached to. But the message we have, right, and the way we transmit that message to the Gambian people, whoever that we meet, any group that we reach to, of course, will listen to us and they will see that we have provided an alternative, in fact, a sticking one for that matter, a strong alternative for that matter, that, of course, if actually what they want is to see a Gambian that is quite different from what we are living today, that Tabaxx Reewmi is the solution. So, of course, right, I have faith in what I'm doing. And I believe the truth is Gambian people are all good people. They are genuine people. And these are people that want to be told the truth. These are people that want to be enlightened. Look at it this way. All those that have changed countries, that have changed communities from a nick of time are people that were able to unlock the doubt that existed in the minds of people. In fact, that's what the job is all about. There in your countries, like in the United States, we have seen in the past, read about civil society, about civil movements, and what they were able to do, and if they impact the whole of the United States, or so on and so on and so on, in Europe or other countries around the world. Why? Because something was wrong. It had been lingering from within people's mind, and they were able to help people to see. In fact, what Gambian people need now is somebody that will help them see that a lot that has been ongoing is not in the interest of the Gambian people. What a lot of politicians have been doing is use the Gambian people, and at the end of the day, benefit out of the Gambian people. That's what they do. That's what they always do. So the path to that success, to that victory, is being consistent to our messaging, making sure we reach out to all of Gambians, and to whomever that we meet, we communicate to them at a stage, at a level that they will clearly understand. Our messaging to the youth will be different to our messaging with the elder. But again, will be also different from that younger person that will turn out to be 18th by the election day. So you will see that we have tailored our messaging in a way that we understand.
Interesting. Samba. And I mean, absolutely no doubt. The guy, his heart is in the right place. And there's no doubt. He's very courageous, as we all know forming a political party in the Gambia is not like a walk in the park. You know, the amount of work it requires, I mean, in terms of financially, emotionally, especially we're not talking about running for National Assembly at a constituency level, or even at the municipality level, like if you want to run for mayor or chairman. We're talking about running for the presidency from Banjul all the way to Koina. I mean, that's a Herculean task, really. And we are running, trying to take.
The good things are more, I've seen people's comments here. Listen, we cannot have our cake and eat it, like they say, even though I still maintain I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah.
People who are capable, who believe that they are capable, cannot also be just driven away from the political space. You know, to me, we've had this argument. I have no problem with as many people as possible joining the political party. You know, because at the end of the day, Musa, our country is not like a country that has moved an inch.
It hasn't.
We are still celebrating because roads are being built. The whole government apparatus would all lined up. Everybody would come, somebody, guitar, gese, and everything, because of we have paved a way, a road. Right. So we have to have young people, old people, anybody who has ideas come to the fray.
I am so sorry, sir. I'm quite sure maybe maybe President Mbaka has been posted to come today.
No, it's the Hakalan. It's the Hakalan. You know, it's Hakalan la Turakama. You know. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kah, really, I mean, my question is, a lot of people that are watching, and you would have to convince them to take them seriously. I know you are saying that your messaging would do it, but I'm just saying, for all practical reasons, can you tell me what Mama Kande did? And you are working.
Yeah, I'm quite sure. You know, if President Barrow and his team are doing all this, they might have been posted
that you couldn't accomplish it. What other opposition party leaders have done, also going back to 2021, whether it's the United Democratic Party, the largest party, and then you're talking about other. I guess he's gone again. So, because what I want to get from him is, what is he going to do differently that would kind of bring about this victory that he's talking about? Because I think it's going to take a lot more than just messaging. Really, I mean, now agriculture is not working. You know, going to small Moki Fana Finance and get regular day. Monday, Buma Jile. Then I'll hindi ci tabal ba ñun ñom ñu tok nga laaj ma ne ni la ko bëgg jaay ni la ko jaay ñu jëndé ko non. I mean, I think it's going to be much more complicated. So again, Mr. Kah.
Let me just check. I'm trying to log into another phone, maybe another, or my laptop, to see maybe whether it will have any.
Yeah, so far. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, sir. I'll be doing that.
So again, just to, what are you going to do differently that some of these opposition parties haven't done, that you saw strategically? I'm not talking about messaging now. That you think ñoom loolu lañ miss. That's why they were not able to defeat the incumbent. But with you now coming, it's going to be different. What are you going to do that they haven't done? In other words.
Yes, you see, like there is this thing that had been ongoing, and I'm trying to let the political parties, especially opposition, to that they need to understand very clearly. You see, the government of the Gambia, the NPP, for example, they are selling this notion that no political party can remove Barrow. You see, that connotation, that phrase is in the interest of the government, interest of Barrow, because this is all peddled by Barrow and his people. Because at the end of the day, what they're trying to make people believe is, for as long as they don't come as one, actually they don't stand a chance against me. If they make the people believe that that is actually the fact, then what it does is it makes chances for President Barrow, chances to defeat Barrow to be very slim. Because at the end of the day, people need to trust those who come to them, groups who come to them to ask for their votes. They need to trust them, right? That they should give them their votes. At the end of the day, it is the gambling people that actually will vote, right? So I believe, look, there is nothing else other than being honest to the gambling people. I think honesty is what matters, right? Consistency is what matters. You can take an example. There is a politician. The moment that they stand before you in a crowd, people will instantly, will not have trust no more on your political ideology or your political movement. Why? Because they have seen in the past such a politician to have made utterances, strong one for that matter, and at the end of the day, gone contrary to themselves, right? So that lack of consistency had been a problem. So I believe, of course, like I said earlier on, you may not reinvent the wheel, but you may spice up in a way that it will give whatever that is available a new taste that all of Gambians would have to trust, right? An example, like I said, messaging, the way of messaging. Of course, they may say what I say, but actually, are we saying it in the same way, same manner? That relates to the Gambian people. That is the spice up that, of course, can bring about the differences that will also the change that we are looking for. So, of course, a lot of things that have happened in Gambian politics, because it's all about either the message, or it's about the money, or it's about it's only about these alternatives that have been available in Gambian politics. So for us, with our status, with also our beliefs, we deny the politics of the banks. We deny the politics of money. We only believe what will make the Gambian to take up the bold step and bring about the change is that we have to trust our skills, we have to trust ourselves, we have to trust the truth and go to them. We need to go to the Gambian, wherever they are, reach them and tell them the truth. In fact, any other means that you may use other than telling them the truth, you will still not succeed, even if you win election. Because what you've told them was not the truth, and you will, for as long as you have not told them the truth, you will not be able to provide what you have promised. And therefore then, just few months into your leadership, the Gambian people will also again see that they have been betrayed once more. So therefore, the last thing, the one way that will stick and that can last and can bring about the change is politicians in the country need to develop reasonable messaging. Let me just give an example. Right, what we are seeing today in Gambian political environment is all of the politicians, most of them, in fact, it's unfortunate, but we're even seeing from among the youths, those that claim to be youths, have started that path of money, of the music, of whatever, instead of the messaging. Like, in fact, what people, the media, for example, stakeholders, should by now be calling for is to bring political parties to come and face the public and discuss with the public and debate on programs and ideas so that the people will be provided the opportunity to make the right decision. Let me just give an example. If today all those that are trying to look for the leadership were to come together, Gambians will sit down and Gambians will watch them. That is going to make it very easy for the Gambians to see that, yes, there is hope in this group of people. But again, by the time they debate on policies and ideas, the Gambian people will also see, of course, such and such person have what we need to be able to build this country. So let nobody, right, tell us that there is another way that you can do it. What Gambia needs today is a revolution that will take the Gambian out of the situation we are. And the only thing that can do that is telling the people the truth, the reality. Make them humans, make them people, complete human beings, who knows what their rights are, who knows what their power is, so that those people will overturn to be the oversight of government. The moment the government realizes that power is within the people and people understand that the power that they hold, you will see that the government will now start to work from within the yardstick provided by the people themselves. So I believe what's going to bring about that success is the people getting to them wherever they are, but take the right message to them, tell them the truth as bitter as it is, call them to that truth, that patriotism, that when we come together, of course, we're going to build Gambia. So what we're going to do different is that our messaging relates to the current needs of the Gambian people. Yes, you have said, a lot of people have talked about this, but I can tell you, there are many people here that have been here for decades. They have said, right, some of the things that we say, but their examples were on agriculture, their examples were on the market here and there. Their examples have not been about what to do with internet so that you create a lot of jobs through content creation and so on and so on and so on. So this is how we are different. It's about the messaging, and the messaging that is the message that is required by the majority of our current population inshallah, and that's what we're providing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmadou Kah. Brother Marong.
All right, thank you very much. Tabaxx Reewmi. I think in Mandinka, Wolong Kabanko Deda. I think that's the meaning of it, correct, Mr. Kah? Can you hear me? Oh.
Yes, sir.
He got the Adan going.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, all right. So I said Tabaxx Reewmi, meaning in Mandinka Kabanko Deda. I think that's the correct meaning of it, correct?
Yeah, we have tried to as much as possible get to the closest meaning. It's just like Banku Doko. We have had a lot, yes, okay. But yeah, something like that would be good.
Okay, so I heard you say great ideas, being honest and all that, and you know, in politics, you know, that is something that I think hasn't played well in Gambian circles. Now you brought great ideas, and I think you know very well as a young man and entering in politics, people are going to resist those ideas or your policies. I am interested. What are the core values or strategies of Tabaxx Reewmi? What are some of the pressing issues that you think immediately under your leadership you will, address?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that's very, very important. Yes, our core values, like you have said, we've talked about the issue of. Okay, let me come to one thing. That is Jubal. Now, why I have to say that? In many occasions, people would say, Jubal and I always tell them that when we registered this Tabaxx Reewmi as a movement, right? The stamp on our constitution always provides evidence that it was us that came about first before it is popularized by other political parties, maybe in another country, and which I can always show you, right? So because we believe there is nothing that you can build out of the framework that people are going to be honest to their work, to service, and they're going to make sure that the mandate that has been given to them is actually what they work from within. So that's why we said the core values, after we have said Jubal, includes four terms. Accountability, that making sure whoever that is trusted with a role of government must be accounted for it. And we will make so stringent laws in fighting corruption, in making sure accountability is the order of our government will have to be in place. Innovation, secondly, we believe Gambia our system need to translate from what we have, that manual system, example, to a digitized system. Example, you come to Gambia again. I can give some example. The problem we have in our Dallas, because people have the note running around, and then you will see people or businesses that are engaged in Forex would be doing hoarding and all things like that. Why? Because if we had digitalized the current
Coach, it looks like the brother lost some connection there.
It's the Hakalang road. But I like him.
Yes.
Because to me, like I was saying before he comes in, I just believe that we have to open the political space. Those who believe have answers should all come on board. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So issues like, for example, innovation matters. there has been a lot of things that are happening around Gambia is because the government is not incorporating new ways. Management has evolved over time, so therefore, government itself, in fact, in the managing of public resources, but also in public administration, need to look into those. So these are important and these are very, very necessary, right? So again, we've talked about empowerment, and that empowerment, what we brought at the helm of our empowerment approach is the people, returning sovereignty to the people, returning power to the people. Let empowerment start from giving the people the due that they deserve, so that the people would in turn be the oversight of government. The people would also in turn determine how and on what their resources will be used upon. So therefore, again, when we have built all of this, that we have now instituted a government that runs through on the basis of accountability, that every individual who works for the government is accountable for whatever that they do on behalf of the government. And again, that the government had probably transited from the manual system, but also from the old habits of our leaders to a new one, where most part of government activities probably is running through technology. Our currency again to put through that system, then the people are empowered, that the people serve as the oversight of the government, that the people have power to bring down government whenever they feel that the government is not doing no more what or the reasons why they appointed them. Then therefore the fourth value would have been to make sure that you have built the system in a way that this is sustained, so that you will not just go 1 year down the line and then you've gone back to ground zero. Of course, that would be a layer well constructed. It would have to be a concrete that serves as a buffer, and from there, Gambia will now start going forward. So these are usually our core values. But at the top of everything, we say you cannot build a country without having goals, aspirations, and we have put up to about 8 goals. So therefore, what we're going to do is anything that our government do will have to be tied on these goals. For example, like number one would be making sure most of Gambians live above the poverty line, right? So therefore, how would that be done? That can only be done when the budget of the Gambia is tied to the outcomes that we have talked about or that we have profiled in our agenda. So again, making sure Gambians have access to free basic and secondary education, free, affordable, and quality. This is where we talked about revisiting the curriculum that we have in the Gambia, making sure we design a curriculum, a new one, that fits the aspiration of the people of the Gambia. So again, we have talked about making sure that the Gambian people, the lifespan of Gambians is increased. And that only will come when the government can make sure that the people are now enjoying good meals, but hygienic meals, that they have good healthcare system, right? And that they have, an environment, a clean environment and a good environment. So you will see that goal can only be attained if we have taken off the right investment in agriculture, in health, the right investment in other sectors, of course, that will buffer that goal. And again, we have talked about example number 4, access to affordable and quality energy. Electricity is a big challenge in Gambia, for example, right? If you see, sometimes you can see my screen flashing because at this time of the day, the electricity supply from within my region, my area here, is too low. And therefore, you will see bulbs will be going on and off. But again, what I'm trying to say is that energy needs very strong policies. For example, when you ask people usually about energy, you will see them talking about how we increase generation. But even before them, somebody will say, before we talk about generation, where are those policies that can maximize the use of the already available supply that's coming from now? Take example, the old system freezers, for example, the old ACs that are secondhand, that are used from Europe and other parts of the country. Some of them are 20 years old and they consume a lot of energy. Why not you bring about a policy that will make so the materials that come into the country, appliances that come to the country, are energy saving? Through that approach alone, you can save energy, a lot of megawatts of energy. Train people about the need to save energy, right? Bringing technology where the moment people lock their main gate or their main lock, maybe probably of course the energy goes off. So we need to talk about how to maximize the use of energy. Then after that, we need to go further into other actions and are necessary. Again, realizing the full capacity of industrialization, innovation, and infrastructure. Look at agriculture, for example. Right? Look at the sea. The Gambia government has a contract before with the European Union for the European Union to fish 3,000 tons of tuna, and all that the Gambia government get in return was about 550,000 euros. So that 3,000 tons of processed tuna can cost you up to $70 million. So the Gambia government, and I also will tell you, there are other 11 species of fish that are all in a commerciable quantity from within our waters. So that should attract what industrialization, a hit industry, right? That will develop and benefit the Gambian people. So all these things are what we have as goals, right? That we want to put to the Gambian people. Again, example, when it comes to security is a challenge still. When it comes to high quality of food is a challenge. And so therefore our agricultural drive is tied to the quality of food that we want to make sure the Gambian people enjoy. So you will see taking Gambia back to that dream of the safest and most peaceful country in West Africa, in Africa, and also at the top, one of the safest countries around the world. So these are all goals that we have. So that tomorrow, whatever we're going to do, different is to make sure that the budget of the government, that any other thing that we do is tied to these aspirations that we have for the Gambian people. Yeah.
Thank you. My second question is, you've definitely articulated very strong points, and a particularly interesting thing that I took out of your conversation was you would like to instill where voters are empowered, meaning knowing that they are the people who hold the power. They can hire and fire politicians. But in today's reality, though, we know that's not the same. I mean, that's not what Gambian politics is about. They elevate their leaders. They don't question the decisions of their leaders. How would you navigate through such a complex dichotomy? I mean, meaning where are you going to strike that balance? I mean, how is your organization going about breaking the ice or breaking that barrier that a lot of people believe in, especially our religious leaders? They will say, "Oh, we don't oppose leaders. It's in this, it's in this." But how would you go about that? Because you mentioned that. I think that's quite interesting. Are you talking about in terms of articulating your vision to the youth, or this is all people that you aspire to engage in, having them buy in your policy and your movement's agenda moving forward?
I think if I heard you well. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Oh, no. What I say, what I'm trying to, drive at is, I heard you said, your movement or your organization or your political party, call it. I think what you are trying to convey is it's going to be the other way around, whereby folks will be empowered, or the voters, to know that they're the ones who make the decisions to hire and fire. Well, what I'm trying to say is, in today's political environment in the Gambia, that's not the reality. The reality is people really embrace their leaders, and they think the leaders are correct. They call the shots. And if you dare challenge the status quo, you get called all sort of names. So what I'm trying to ask from you, how do you... I think he lost it. He left.
He lost the internet. But that's quite interesting what he was saying. He says, we wanted to engage and let the voters know that they have the power. I don't know whether Musa you caught that on.
Oh yeah. I mean, and he's been basically saying that. Like I said, that has been the Doi narrative, and that is empowering the voters. Again, if you build the right electorate, they will be able to elect the right leader. I mean, for all practical reasons, and I see where you're going with your question. I mean, that's not the reality. These electorate, don't underestimate them. They make their calculations. They vote based on what they perceive to be in their interest. Now, you can sit there on a pedestal and say, they are not informed, and you'll be making a sad mistake. They know exactly what they are doing. Now, we can disagree all we want. We can call them, and sometimes, rightly so, low-informed voters. But, I like his passion. And without a doubt, for our democracy to work, it has to be open enough so that people can come in and participate. I think that is good for our democracy. But at the same time, too, I believe a young politician like him, I mean, he could have identified one of these big boys and then get in there. And look, if I need to be convinced that he has a pathway to victory. I'm not saying.
But Musa, with your other question, can that question also be asked of other young people?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The movement.
Even the movement.
Yes.
That question.
Before going and setting up an order.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even the movement, that question should be directed at them. That is why I have always said here, I believe the movement, the Taliban student movement, would have been much more formidable under the UDP umbrella. I believe that then, and I believe that now. But I also do believe that Taliban Sudan, and what I know about the movement, I think they have a shot. How much of a shot it is? I believe they do have a shot.
Shot of what?
Shot of be very competitive against the incumbent.
Oh, okay.
I'm answering the question. They have a shot of being very competitive.
I'll be right back.
That I do believe. I believe that they do have a shot. And if there is any, look, our politics has come down to a binary choice, Pasamba. You know that and I know that. Mm-hmm. If there is any chance that a third party could come into this fray at this juncture and make a difference, I think it's the movement. I mean, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
When we had our conversation, but I was giving you my predictions and stuff. We'll talk about that at another time. And there is a reason for that.
Yes.
Because I think I see a lot of candidates who will be on the ballot this time as opposed to even last time. I can see up to maybe 8-10 candidates.
I think so.
Going against Barrow. And unfortunately, when that happens, I think Boy Fati will be a very happy man. It will be another victory for Barrow. That's just a fact that we cannot just. And it doesn't matter, like you say, a fiti tagale would naka. And that's just what's going to happen, because to defeat an incumbent, Sibopam, Kohamneni has a very strong hold of the provinces, and we have to accept that for him.
It's the truth.
And you look at the numbers from the last elections, say whatever you want to say about the credibility of those elections. Guess what? The same people who voted the last elections are still eligible to vote these coming elections, because we're not going to have a general registration of voters where it's fresh registration. No, we'll have a supplementary registration where people will be added. But anyway, Mr. Nakalachula, Mr. Kah, I know that we're almost at the tail end of this thing, and I know the internet has not been very cooperative.
Yeah, I have switched to another line. I was doing that. I'm sorry, I've switched to another line. Maybe that will be better at least.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So the question that I want to ask you is just a yes or no question. You talked about accountability. For 22 years, we went through hell on the Jammeh. There are victims all over the place. Jammeh is planning to come back. Do you believe, does your party believe that Jammeh should stand trial for the crimes that he is accused of committing?
Can I give a little answer? I believe everybody, not only him, but whoever that has committed crime in the Gambia, right? The due process need to be followed, and the laws of the Gambia need to be implemented. And all that, I believe in rule of law. So I believe when it comes to about Jammeh, I have since after the TRC have said one thing, and I'm still calling for the government of the Gambia to consider that. That is, we, the Gambian people, need to hear from him. We need to hear from him. He needs to come and face the Gambian people so that he will be asked the questions, right? And he answers to us. I think that is very, very important. And I believe that needs to be done by the government of the Gambia. We need a closure. And what will bring about the closure is that accusations have been made, evidences have been shown. So we need to also hear from him as a former head of state, what he has to say about all of this, and then we move on to the due process following.
But when you say hear from him in his capacity, just give him this thing, address the nation, or through prosecution where he would have a right to defense?
Yeah, he would have the right to defense. Yeah, he would have the right to defense. But even like, I'm just trying to say, like the closure, where the TRC was closed, right? I was of the view that himself also will be brought to the public like any other perpetrator, that they face the public and questions being thrown at them to respond to the Gambian people. But of course, whatever the case is, rule of law must follow. Countries are governed by laws, and if there are laws, those laws should be implemented. Only the only thing that should happen is the government of the Gambia to make sure that when implementing the laws of the Gambia, that they implement the law as they are, right? Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so my final question to you. Corruption is a cancer and continues to be cancer in our country. Practically, what are you going to do to fight corruption in the Gambia?
Yes, like I said, fighting corruption is very, very important. Most of the time, we talk about policies. Yes, we need policies, very strong ones. In fact, I used to say, even before the advent of the Anti-Corruption Commission, if the laws of the Gambia were implemented as they are in fighting corruption, that when the Auditor General comes with audit reports and there are grave findings, that requires the Gambia Police Force to act, and they would have acted and do the needful, that alone would have been enough to fight corruption. So therefore, most important about fighting corruption is the will, and secondly, the leader himself. Example right now, if I can give you an example, one way that we will do to fight corruption is I will make sure I start from myself, my family, and the people that are work with me, that are closest to me. That I'll make it very clear to each and every one of them, and I'll make this very public, that whoever transgress beyond the limits of the resources of the Gambia, the full force of the law will be implemented without affection, ill will, or any favors. That will be done. And I will make sure I start with those that are closest to me and my family. I will make sure if anybody that is even a family is found wanting, in fact, I will make sure the very bitterness of the loss of the Gambia would have been implemented so that it will serve as a strong signal to those that are probably, my relationship with them is being a citizen of the country and their leader. And again, the leader must behave in a way and manner. In fact, if you look at democracy, what democracy is trying to do is to make sure leaders, through their character, through their moral standing, that they will be able to guide a nation. And that is why democracy is saying the majority, whoever the majority of the people go for, that is the one that will lead the country. So that the good and moral behavior that are within that leader, that are probably practiced by that leader, will now be, how to call it, the people that follows, of course, will also put themselves to that same standing. That is quite important, and that's quite necessary. So therefore, fighting corruption would have to start from the leader. Are you doing enough to fight corruption from within your midst, the people that are closest to you, your party members, your families, your friends? That is where you should be strongest. And now after that, then now the laws, implementing the laws follows, making sure that the stakeholders that helps in this are given the independence that they need to be able to do their work without any interference coming from the leadership. Example, the Gambia Police Force should have all rights, all duties, and all powers to take actions. That, of course, has something to do with influential members of the government and of the party of the ruling, right, of the ruling party, without even having any fears or whatsoever. So therefore, it is important that we empower the stakeholders that take part in fighting corruption. The Anti-Corruption Commission, the Gambia Police Force, the House of Assembly, all of these people need to be empowered by the government to see to it that their appointment probably is strictly for the welfare of the country. They are allowed to do their work following the rule of law, right, for the benefit of the Gambian people, yes.
Thank you, sir. Musa.
So, I want to ask you a question, because most people don't really know much about you. Have you ever supported President Jammeh, part of the APRC?
No, I have not.
So you've never supported APRC?
No, I have never. The only parties that I have voted for is DOI and GDC.
And you were part of GDC in what capacity?
I was one of the founders of GDC. In fact, if you look at me, you know, as young as I am, I had considered to contest elections of 2016. And during that process, that we met an elder who informed us that he was also visited by somebody called Mama Kande, that is trying to also set up a political party. And he thought if we come together, probably we can make a better impact. That was when, right, we made that happen, met with Mama Kande, we discussed, and we had a lot of similarities at the time. So therefore, we agreed to form and create the GDC. I am one of the founders that created the GDC. One of those that went to the people and seek for their signatories and created the party. When we have created the party, I have been also through the ranks of the party. At first, as an Auditor General of the party, then from there, as the Secretary or the Finance Secretary of the party, from there as Public Relations Officer of the party, and after that, also I have served as the second deputy party leader of the GDC. And you know, through that time, I have been very, very involved in what's happening around Gambian politics. Example, the coalitions of 2016. GDC have been there. We have been there throughout. It was only at the time that a flag bearer was supposed to be selected that GDC withdrew. And we withdrew because before that meeting, prior to that meeting, we had a meeting before that. The last meeting we had before that day, all of us agreed as political parties that on that day we were going to come back, and each political party, after a discussion with your own executive, would on that day inform the general gathering how and what process you believe that a leader is supposed to be chosen. Only that we came to the hall and found the media there. I can remember vividly. I stood up and said, "This is not, what is the media doing here? Because we are not supposed to be facing the media." I can remember at that time, Auntie Fatumata Jang Tamajan stood up and told me, "My son, the Gambian people want to see that we have come together." So that being the case, they are putting so much pressure. This is why we call the media to come here, so that we will tell them that we have gotten away to select a leader. Then I said, I am not going to be part of that. We have not have any understanding, no signatory to any document. There is nothing in place. I am not going to be one of those that will inform the Gambian people that we have agreed on anything which is not signed and which is not in place. It was on that day, right, that the GDC withdrew. So this is what happened, you know, with me. Even after that, all the coalition or negotiation talks that had happened between the government, like the likes of Mohammed Ibn Chambers, Goodluck Jonathan came here doing with inter-party committee members, I have always been present and my voice have always been heard. So I have been actually active in Gambian politics, yes, over the past years. But the only parties that I have ever voted for is DOI and GDC.
And GDC. So looking at this situation, and there are a lot of people, myself included, and quite a few observers that are saying that it's going to really take a coalition of parties to maybe even be competitive and defeat Barrow. What's your take on that? And do you see you the movement, Tabaxx Reewmi, to be part of that? And also, can you tell us that under no circumstances you will be joining NPP as like some of these parties have done in the past? Ahmadou. Can you hear me? Or is it the internet?
The Hakalang internet.
Yeah, I'll start with NPP. NPP is out.
NPP is completely out. Under any circumstances.
NPP is out of it. Yeah, NPP is definitely out. NPP is definitely out because look, I don't believe. In fact, I don't believe that President Barrow can win another election. I don't believe that.
You don't believe?
I don't believe that. So therefore, since I don't believe that, I cannot jump into an NPP wagon. So that's why I say NPP is out of it. Okay. Yes. That's yes. Secondly, I am not happy because I have promises have been made to us. The coalition government, when they were coming in 2016, they have made very serious promises, and none of those promises have been delivered. So if I were to join NPP, on what basis would that be? So I don't believe that I can go along with the NPP or joining NPP. Now, when it comes to the matters of a coalition, I believe coalition can happen, right? But let me say one thing. The approach that many of us are taking is not the right one. In fact, this was what happened in 2016. When people believe that the Gambia needs a coalition, so they forced political parties and political leaders to sit down and select one, right? And that's when they have done that, the outcome is what we are battling today and what we want to remove again. So I agree that we need to form coalition, but the political parties and party leaders need to be put to task. Example, myself, I will say I'm ready. You want me to come and work with you?
Hakalang.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, you know what, Boy Fatty, the difference between this young man and you, this young man kiragalot. You will not show your face to defend your party. Why would you run? You will not run for anything.
Yeah, Ahmadou.
Like I'm saying, if the political party wants me to come and work with them, the party leader need to be ready to come and face off with me. Let us debate. Let us give the government. So if you have a better program, I don't have a problem following you. But you have to prove to the Gambian people that what you have to offer is way beyond and better than what I have, right? Because gone are those days that we should only sit together and say, let us pick X. Because why? Because X has money. I don't believe money is going to win politics. I don't believe that. In fact, in the first place, if money was going to win office, how to call it, past would not have been in leadership. Coalition 2016 would not have been in leadership. Jamia have more money, will more power than them. So I don't believe it is money that talks. So we need to, from today, right the wrongs. We have been forced in 2016 to just gather people and select one. That is what brought us to this state. So we need to form coalition. Yes, we agree. We would like to be part of it. But the condition we have to be that those who aspire to lead the country should come out in the public, face the Gambian people, and tell them what you have. Therefore, the Gambian people will be offered an opportunity to go. It's like you're going to kill two birds with one stone. You're going to select the right person, right? But again, you also are going to select, the one with an agenda, but again, you will also select one that the Gambian people would approve. So that tomorrow, that person will be supported.
Sometimes, I see where he's going with this. But how do you, because most of these parties, they are out there articulating their agendas and their policies and their programs, what they intend to do. All the different parties, in one way or another, they are doing that. How do you measure, because again, what he's saying is, unless you come, for a coalition to happen, you have to be able to come with your agenda and then convince him and convince the Gambian people that this is your agenda and this is how you're going to right the wrongs and all of that. But for all practical purposes, I think, yes, where I do agree with him is when we sit at the table, we would have to I mean, here he comes. Okay. So basically, so basically, people are listening. You're saying the only way that you will participate in a coalition of all parties, because most people believe that is the sorest way of defeating Barrow. Now, you don't like the way it was done in 2016. What other way do you think that you would be willing to be part of?
Yeah, like the aspirants need to be brought to the stage. They have to face off, debate in ideas, with programs and ideas, right? And then on that lane, by the time people are asked to choose or asked to select from within those, people would have selected the one that will lead Gambia from this current situation it is to a new one.
Okay. Okay. So basically have a debate among all the parties. And then after the debate, then there's going to be a selection process.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Sarian, I'm sorry. What is the methodology of the selection process? How do you go about doing that? After having the debate on any of these platforms, all the parties, they participated, answer questions, their policies and programs and all of that, because you're talking about a face-off. And then after that, you're saying that then we can go through a selection process. How is the selection process going to take place?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you take example the last coalition 2016, each political party was asked to bring delegates, for example.
Correct.
If those delegates had listened to the message that was coming from the leaders or the contestant, obviously probably they would not have gone for President Barrow. Is that not so? So what I'm just trying to say is that we have to decipher a way that obviously would make sure that the candidates themselves were able to reach out to the Gambian people, send the right messages to the Gambian people.
Yeah, it looks like the internet has got.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Should I go on, right?
Delay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll have Brother Marong to ask the final questions because the internet has gotten so bad.
Yeah, because you asked 4 questions.
I know, and I apologize.
Mr. Kah, so my last 2 questions. What do you think is the greatest threat that faces the Gambia currently?
Now there's a delay.
Yeah, our greatest strength is the powers that we have seen President Barrow exhibiting nowadays. Like looking at what happens with the Auditor General, for example, where we have seen is a president that had made an error and wouldn't take it back because probably they feel they're too big to do that. So, and I think that is the greatest threat that the Gambia faced. We are moving, we have come so far from a situation that we don't pray to go back to. But that is one element that the president did exhibit, and of course can lead us to an unfavorable situation. So the threat that we have today is the threat to democracy, to good governance, that people need to be empowered, institutions need to be empowered to stand and do their work as per the guidance of the Constitution of the Gambia and laws of the Gambia. But now beginning to see where the president overlaps to institutions, removing heads of institutions without due process, I believe that is a great threat. Why? Because if this is allowed to go, tomorrow it will happen to the central bank.
Yeah. Internet. But did you see Basiru Ndao's proposal about the Starlink. That maybe we should invest in the Starlink. And
you know what? Maybe all the other interviews that we're trying to line up, we'll have to use his services. You know.
Yeah, and but how do they? I mean, I guess we can talk to him behind the scenes. How do we go about doing that?
The first break.
But you know what? For the meantime, let me go to the ads.
I sent you one.
Yes, sir. I did.
No deposit, flexible payment plans, and lots of discounts. Get your legal apartment today.
I like this app though. I like Milan.
Oh yeah.
No deposit, flexible payment plans, and lots of discounts. Get your legal apartment today.
This brother,
this is for the newlyweds. I'm not going to answer 1 year anniversary. We are good.
Somewhere around the West Coast. I believe you would work very well. They cost beef now, and they have what it takes. It's just a question of
the guy Vancouver, you know.
Bro, brother Maron, young is why you lady, let me lead it.
No. I didn't say anything there. Don't let the boom go living with Jaha Senor.
Musa, you I'm gonna Ruby man, father.
Very much.
You are no more independent, man. Coach and I are independent. You are not independent, father.
You can say that again.
Yeah. Well, I am indeed independent.
No, you are not. You are not independent at all.
Lack of independence is not like supporting a party.
Manuwa Humare, Lumawa Moe, you are not independent. I didn't even go there.
I don't know, there is an other device on
a party.
Yes, I think so. Is it on Mr. Kah?
Do you have
Mr. Kah, we since you've been here for a very long time, I'm just gonna ask my last question. That way we can let you go. What does leadership means to you?
Yeah, because he has an other device on because you can hear you. Hello? Is he hearing us?
Yeah. I think it's a delay.
Yeah, that's a long delay though, because it's normally not that long. It's the Hakalang thing. And disrupted the whole.
Mbading is on fire. Bakari, he already stated his level of education. You have to go back. That was the very first question.
Bakari, he has a master's degree. So
yeah, his background and all that stuff.
You know, he's more educated than your president.
Yeah. So
paper education, you know.
I know you are on Mr. Kah's case, but you know he already explained that. So you have to actually go back after the program and listen to it. You know, he already did.
And he's very courageous, and I think he believes in something. I mean, you cannot miss that without a doubt. You know.
Well, at least he's not a new guy. Is he giving that name? He's been there since,
of course,
you know, the formation of GDC and wanted to run, and then played his part. So at least you gotta give him that.
Definitely.
And he's Ahmadou Kah, right?
Ahmadou Kah, right?
You know, we have an Ahmadou Kah here in Vancouver.
Okay.
Maybe it's the same. It's the same Kaka, guy made in Naila. So
it's possible.
London Corner and stuff. You know, they Ahmadou Kah's brother, older brother, Ahmadou Kah. Yeah. So, Mr. Kah, my last question was, what does leadership mean to you?
Yeah, thank you. Like I said earlier on, to me, leadership is about a mission that one must deliver to the people. Like I said earlier on, when I'm defining it to the Gambian people, what it means to me, leading Gambia, what it means to me, I usually tell the Gambian people, every politician might have an interest in what they do. So I, as Ahmadou Kah, also, I have interest in my political activities. But that interest is not money. That interest is not fame. But someday, 100 years from today, in my grave, I'll be receiving praise from the Gambian people, that my name will continue to live in Gambia long after I am gone. That actually is really, really what leadership means to me, to the Gambian people.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Any closing remarks that you're going to put out to the folks that might not know you, and you want to summarize everything in a minute? I mean, some people join pretty late, so kind of give them a summary.
Yeah.
Why not everybody, but Mr. Kah is the new breed in town, and why they need to join the bandwagon.
Thank you very much, sir, for that opportunity. What we're trying to say, what we're saying in summary to the Gambian people, that Gambia evolved for many decades. We have been on a roadmap. Every year, we still feel that we are yet to start. But there is only one key. There is nobody that's going to build this country other than us as Gambians. We will build this country. There is no way those that will build this country would have to see the benefit, that will leave the benefit. No. It has to be a sacrifice that we all have to be ready to take, only to be remembered. That should be the ultimate prize that we can win. There is no way that we will sow the fruits and eat themselves. No. Let us build Gambia together. Also, we cannot make the same usual mistakes. Now, every Gambian should be open up to ideas. Those, I'm not saying Gambians, come on, follow me. But what I'm saying is, let whoever come to you, bring an agenda, bring a program, and talk to you about the program that they have to sell. And the program must resonate with the needs that we have as Gambian people, with our aspirations. That should be a yardstick that every Gambian should have and put at the back of their mind. Gone are supposed to be the use of money, the use of name, right? You're following X because of a family name. These are not fair to the Gambian voters. So in summary, what I'm trying to do, what I'm saying is, but let all of Gambia, right, renew their oath to building our nation, and to know that you cannot go about bringing or electing the worst in character and expect to have the best in return. That's not going to happen. Let us look at our leaders, let us scrutinize them, let us make sure that we open our arms to them, to listen to them. Whoever comes to us should be given the opportunity to be heard, so that at the end of the day, the decision that the Gambian people will take will be purely based on the welfare, the benefits of the Gambian people inside.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Kah. I guess the internet. We definitely would have after this, because especially Pasamba, the interviews or conversations that you're lining up with all these powerhouses. I think the internet, and also when we reach out to these people to, I think to give them the heads up that it's vital for them to have a good connecting internet that will definitely help their the interview, but also the message that they want to put out there.
And Musa, to our viewers, we were expecting to have Talib today, but because of conflict with other things that they have to do, so he was not able to come in today. So we're expecting to have him on Sunday. And then we're working to also have Mr. Dabo around after that. And with Halifa, like I said, we're going to try to have as many of these people as possible so that they would come here and have a conversation with the Gambian people, like we've always done on this program, is to give the Gambian people an opportunity to listen to ideas. And our goal and objective has always been to elevate the conversation. We don't want to engage in all these petty things that are not going to get us anywhere, but to elevate the conversation where we can maybe together finally find a solution to what has been confronting our country for a very, very long time. So hopefully we'll continue to hear from them. We'll reach out to all of them. We've already started anyway. So, but we'll tell you as we go. Furthermost.
Yes, like you said, without a doubt, especially as 2026 looms, it's very important to have this conversation. And we are definitely going to have it. Some of us believe that the deck needs to be scrambled. And the only way we can do that is to have these kind of conversations. We want to base it on issues oriented too. I mean, and not get into this lack of civility or this nasty politics that is out there. But at the beginning of the program, we talked about that. Really, every individual deserves respect. And I think our democracy needs it. I think, I mean, that has always been part of our culture. At least nitkisa nga joko a little bit of respect, because so respect to Tamit, I mean, he's not going to respect you back. I mean, that's just the reality. So, you know, as far as Ahmadou Kah is concerned, like I said, this is not the first time. I mean, this is obviously his first time coming on this platform. But I've listened to him also. I think he has some bold ideas. I mean, he's very courageous. And again, I mean, I wish him all the luck. I think forming a new party or a movement, it's not going to be easy. Like President Barrow would say, it's not easy like that day. So, it's going to be a huge challenge. Should that stop people from participating in the political process? Of course not. Of course not. And but again, if we want to bring about change, we also need to respond accordingly to the political realities on the ground. Really, I mean, to run against President Barrow is going to take a lot to defeat him. Is it possible? I think it is. And the data is there reinforcing it. The man is vulnerable. 60% said that they are not going to walk into that polling booth and vote for him. They can say whatever they want to say. They can talk about Hakalang all they want. But the reality is, and they know. That is why when you listen to that rally in Sukuta, I mean, they know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be different. I mean, on 30 young people that are under 30, this is about their future. If they come out and they vote, it will be a whole different ball game. So, so Ahmadou, so final, before we let you go.
Thank you very much. I am grateful, and I must say a big thank you to all of you, especially my senior Koto there. Sir, I have not forgotten you this time. Yeah. My apologies for that. And then also to the audience, my warmest salutation to all of them for listening to the program. Alhamdulillah, we are apologizing if we have said anything maybe that didn't fall with any Gambian who was listening. That actually we were just trying to be honest to what we believe in, and then we are asking people for their acceptance that actually this is what we believe, and to share with the Gambian people, and we do it out of honesty. And I must thank you all, and I wish that the growth to the for the people by the people. So, like I said earlier on, it is tough, it is challenging. The people that sit there and interface with the politicians actually are the right people. So alhamdulillah, I pray that Allah bless all of you, help all of you, inshallah. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank
you.
We thank you immensely, Ahmadou, and keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference, and our country needs that, without a doubt.
You got a name shake here. I told you, man. His name is Ahmadou Kah. I'll tell him that, hey, your younger brother in Gambia is running. to be a president. So I'll let him know. You have
Thank
a
you, sir.
family here. They're all here. The sisters and the brothers, they're here.
Mashallah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Nice. That's very nice.
Thank you.
Azama Bakari Mune Bakari Marong Mune, he wants people like you to run for president. Mune go be like Dimbalenyu. Wallahi.
And the thing is, he's not gonna support Pasamba Joe.
Oh,
He's telling him to go run for
not ask
president.
you to run and then we don't want to vote support me. Are you saying?
Exactly. So I'm biting down sometimes.
Are you really serious? You think this guy, this activist on steroids is the right one to run for president? Seriously?
You know, great job, Mr. Kah. You'll always get a pushback because you have established parties, you have people new supports, and so they will not want the no fear. Firange is always going to be there, you know. But
yeah,
it's going to be interesting, Moose. So how about that, you know, do you guys have anything else to?
Not really. I mean, it was a
Musa didn't talk about the interview. You mentioned Mr. Dawo's interview.
Go ahead. Go right ahead. Let's
No, I'm not. Go right ahead. You have a lot of perspective on it. I think the interview went very well. So, you know, a lot of people were talking about it. The Bakar C, Suleiman Ba said, you know, the interview, that was his best moment, you know.
Yeah.
What do you say to that, Father Mose?
Man, I've watched the interview, Sarian, and the objective of any interview is what the audience are going to take away from it. And I think Mr. Dabo did himself a great service with that interview. I think he answered the questions. I think he was very poised, and I think he did a very great job. I think it was a very good interview for him and for the UDP and all that, because in fact you just have to look at the reaction from most people. It was mostly a very, very positive reaction, and I think whenever you go and speak to the people and you get that, then definitely you've achieved your goal. Now it's up to people not to debate the substance of it, you know, but overall I think you're gonna give him anything but a very high mark for that interview. Definitely. I think he came across very relatable in the interview, and you also have to give credit to Garme, because I think Garme also did a very great job. He has his style where he does not debate you. He would ask you the relevant questions and give you an opportunity to answer the questions, but he would ask you all the questions that he needs to ask. So to me, overall, I think it was like Matar said, I think was one of his finest moments in an interview. During that interview, I think he did himself a great deal of justice, definitely.
And you know, Coach, there was something interesting too about the interview. The cataloging of events that happened prior, and he was even mentioning the actual date. So definitely, he
came prepared.
Yeah, he was very alert, and that was good.
And the information that I have, which is interesting, is that I think Talib was also interviewed, but I think both interviews were recorded the same day. So meaning that maybe when the Talib record comes on, what he may answer may not be directly answering to what Usainu had said, because he may not have known that Mr. Dabo had said that. But I think at the end of the day, though, one thing that I believe, though, is that these two groups cannot be continue going after each other, because at the end of the day, whenever that is the case, you are giving Barrow a reprieve, and I think as long as Barrow has that reprieve, Barrow is winning. So, but I think at some point they would have to move on, and then start dealing with the issues. Let's say the budget that we are confronted with. How is that going to affect the lives of Gambians? You know, and all these other issues. So, but I think overall, for the interview, I think Mr. Dabo did a great job for himself.
I mean, like you guys, I also watched the interview. And without absolutely no doubt. I mean, it was one of his best interviews. I mean, people always point out Mr. Dabo's Achilles heels, that he's an old man and that his age is an issue. If that is the issue, then he's one of the most qualified people to run for the presidency. Because listening to him, I mean, you talked about relatability. It was a different Mr. Dabo. And he did well. He did very well. No doubt about that. And but I have issues with some of the substance of things that were said. And that is, basically the interview revolved around the breakaway from UNC, some of these characters that actually left the party and formed the movement. And like you said, he had a paper where he cataloged some of these meetings that he had with these individuals. And, you know, it reminds me of one thing about political parties in Africa in general, that whether we like it or not, they are more personality driven. Individuals do own them in a way. And whether you're talking about going all the way back to the PPP days, there was a reason no one could actually come in and compete against Jawara. And we all, Pasamba, you remind us what happened in Mansa Konko when the party even said he was going to resign. People wouldn't have it because they believe if he's gone, the party is gone. I mean, we see it all over the African continent. Whether you're talking about Paul Biya at the age of 92, he has to be propped up to run. You're talking about Museveni in Uganda. You talk about Adam Ababo, a person who was supposed to be there for 3 years based on the agreement. He's telling us that he's not going to go because if he does, the party would crumble. Now, if you form a political party and you're part of the executive and you're ambitious and you want to win to become a candidate or a flag bearer within the party, how do you go about doing that realistically? How do you are a Taliban Suda or you are a Rohilo or you are Yangs Dabo. How do you realistically participate and run seriously as a serious candidate to become a flag bearer of the party? How do you do that? Mr. Dabo called them because there were rumors that there were individuals that were out there selling Taliban Suda's agenda. That was a very critical question, huh? Mr. Dabo summoned them and he said, you guys are going out there selling Taliban Bensouda's agenda and not the UDP agenda. My question is, the follow-up question would have been, what is the Taliban Bensouda agenda? What is the UDP agenda? What is Alhaji Ousainou Darboe's agenda? And according to Mr. Darboe, Talib's response was, I am setting up for future competition with people within the party. Now, in any political party, there is going to be power struggle. There is going to be competition within the party. They all believe in the same agenda, that core agenda of the United Democratic Party. They all subscribe to that. But the competition becomes who is the vessel that will go out there and sell that agenda. According to Mr. Darboe, and he was very effective, that Talib said he was not doing it for 2026. And he said he was doing it for 2031. He did mention something about 2031, which he said he wasn't going to participate. Okay, my question is, if Talib going out there within the party to say that I am the vessel that can bring about change, put me as a flag bearer to be the candidate. So Talib is just supposed to sit and wait until the Congress, and then he goes out there and compete against somebody who is the face of the party, somebody who is the party, and then you expect to be competitive? How? There is a reason why everybody is saying they're not going to run if he runs. So how do you do that? You do that by going in and selling your agenda, which is the UDP agenda, that you are the vessel. So it was okay if Talib is doing it for 2031, but it's not okay for Talib to do it in 2026. What does that mean? Why would it be okay to go out there and sell his agenda, whatever that agenda is? It would be nice to know, maybe if Talib comes, we will ask him directly. What was the agenda that you were selling out there?
Mose, if I may just interject, both of them would come, and I know you have questions that you want to have. And no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Please allow me. Like both of you, I believe that it was an effective overall. Mr. Dabo did well. But the substance of it also needs to be interrogated and queried, because he was disappointed in Talib and all the other guys that left. He was disappointed, he said. And the one that touched me was the Ibrahim Adiba one. That got to me, really. Because I can relate to what he said. It's like losing a child. That really got to me, honest to God. It was profound. And I understand why he's disappointed. Seriously, I really do. Look, I've always said, I prefer Talib running under the United Democratic Party. Honest to God, people can say whatever they want. I really believe that. That's when he's going to be most effective, a better shot at defeating Barrow. I believe that. But the idea that somehow you can be part of a party and the only way, so Talib mom dafa waroon a xaar rek bon, let him not do anything until Mr. Dabo retires, and then that would be his time to compete. But doesn't that reinforce Ouattara is running for a fourth term? Because the people around him, they don't believe that they can have somebody else to run. How do you do that? Are we really? I'm going to sometimes we believe that in these political parties, there are internal democracies that you can agree and disagree and compete. That's not the reality, though. So what is wrong with being ambitious? What is wrong with believing that you can defeat President Barrow? If you have those beliefs in you, how do you manifest them without being seen as a traitor, a betrayer? How? I don't know. I don't see how Talib Bensouda could have gone out there and compete for the flag bearership without going to the people and saying, you know what? I am ready, and I'm ready. I believe 2026, I am the best candidate within the UDP. If that is seen as the Talib Bensouda's agenda, bro, then I don't know, man. I don't think the UDP agenda that Mr. Dabo believes in is different from the UDP agenda that Talib Bensouda believes in, or Rohim Malik Lowe, or Yankuba Dabo. They all believe in that 15-point agenda that they've been talking about. They believe in the economic message of the UDP. They believe fighting corruption. They believe in the issues that are concerned. Where the disagreement comes in, Moy, what vessel are you going to use to make sure that you get to the State House? In it, there is going to be competition. For Mr. Dabo to summon them and said, you guys are going out there selling the UDP agenda, Talib Bensouda and the UDP and not the UDP agenda, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'm going to tie your hand behind your back and expect you to compete against me. And that's how I'm reading it. Really. In a political party, there's going to be power struggle with civility. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you cannot have it within that party, then you have your options. Again, I still believe you said something, Pasamba, that is profound, and that is, if this whole thing resort to a blame game between the UMC going out and the UDP, I think it doesn't help either one of them. I think all it does, it helps President Barrow. I have said it even within UMC, and I'm going to say it all over the place. If they make this about UDP, they will lose. They will lose big, because UDP is not their problem. I'm a strong believer that ways can be found for them to work together. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm an idiot. But I am a believer of that. 1 year from now, Surina, what they had more power struggle within the party. The only way they have a chance, the shortest way, is to find a common ground. Now, I'm not going to say, well, no, Yahuna. I don't believe in that. But again, it was a good interview. I mean, Mr. Dabo is really, when you're talking about mental acuity, I mean, he's cognitive. I mean, the man is seriously on day one. I think he'll be ready to be president, no doubt about that. But the idea that the Taliban, and he kind of went each and every one of them to give you a reason why they left. I also believe that it was politics. He has to do. Mr. Dabo is a master in politics. Really, he can fight back. That's exactly what he did. And should the movement come back? And I don't think so. I mean, they make their explanation. I mean, I just read what Tombong said. I mean, and that's the approach. And just leave the door ajar. Like rap. Ubil buntabi a little bit. There are people within the UDP that are level-headed, people within the UMC that are level-headed. We can find common ground if we want to bring victory to the opposition. That's my take.
Yeah, well, the reason why I was not trying to filibuster you, because we will be inviting all these players here and we'll ask questions to them. So whatever doubts that we may have, that will be the proper platform to ask them our questions, our concerns, and they would answer it. But at the end of the day, I think it is what it is, and we move like so. So carry on, to borrow from Boy Fatty, So it's interesting and it's good. It's good. At least they are not there talking about all these things, calling key Papam Sindalaya and Golola and all these things. Like you said, the Ibrahim Adiba one really, really hit home. And it is what it is, because of Useinu's relationship with Ibrahim Adiba.
Yeah.
It's as long as Useinu's relationship with the UDP. So that's it. And we know Ibrahim and Useinu. You say anything about Mr. Dabo, he will be the first one to this thing on audio. So that's why sometimes when I see people, he was not stabbing Useinu at the back. I think that's foolish. This is a guy who's been there with this guy when it was most difficult, when most of the people who are talking would not be seen anywhere close to Mr. Dabo.
Yeah.
When it was very, very lonely in the UDP, Ibrahim Adiba was there.
Definitely.
And in fact, I just want to give credit to my boy, your boy. I hope that is the trend that he is continuing with now. What's his name? Fode Jawla. I in fact saw the letter that he wrote to Ibrahim Adiba too, because he is taking a very, very reconciliatory tone.
On one hand, you will see the reconciliation of his other postings. You better make up your mind. One breath, you're saying this. Another breath, you're saying something totally different. Yeah. I mean, but Jawla is
politics has his ways. So like
on my
it should not always lead us to where you destroy relationships.
No, Jaruko Pasa. Like I said, the one with Ibrahim Adiba and what Mr. Dabo said, I think he said something. The way he's feeling, Ibrahim Adiba is feeling the same way. And that is absolutely
because he's saying that like Ibrahim Adiba will be in the Gambia, they would Toga Usenu or Usenu Gisuko, it's like it's going to be difficult, but it is what it is. There are people who are very close to you because of certain relationships, and they had a very strong bond. Bohamni was built out of a struggle. Bohamni was out of shared beliefs in the direction that the country would take. You understood the perils of what they were doing, but still work together. So it's just interesting. But anyway, like I said, Sarian, we are now talking to the media team of the UDP. They now have a new way of how to interview Mr. Dabo. I was going to call him director. I mean, let's respect the process. So we're talking to Seiko and them to make sure that we'll have Mr. Dabo here again to talk about the Gambia and the way forward. We'll also try to have Halifa Saleh here to do the same thing. We've already spoken to SRFA. Like I said, we've spoken to Talib. We've been talking to Talib at least for the past 2 weeks or so about coming, but conflict has been the reason why he's not been able to come, and we expect to have him on Sunday, and we'll talk to everybody. Fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced it is. I know, look, some of you guys will disagree with me, and I respect that because you don't like my point of view. I get that part. But this whole liking and disliking, it's not about that. I call it the and again, I am without a doubt.
What was that? Well, you keep explaining, man. Let's move on,
Let me be me. I respect I want to be me. I'm just saying, there are people who agree with me and people who disagree with me. And I just want to say that, but anyway, maybe you're right.
My brother, man, from Brikama, Musa, your Tom, likes your analysis. He said you're spot on, man.
Yeah.
So it's okay. No hard feelings. All I'm just saying is you cannot claim that mantle of independence anymore. We kind of like, even Lamin Tarawale agrees. He says Paco and I are independent. You are non-independent. So
no, I totally disagree. Really, for me, every issue that comes up,
I'm just putting your leg.
You see, boy Fatty. You know how many times we've tried to get Adama Barrow. We in fact wanted to go to his stove in the Gambia and interview him. Adama would not come here. You know that, boy Fatty.
So what is this thing that people are writing on these comments? Rohi resigned. What is that?
No, Rohi did not resign.
That fake news, huh?
No. Resign from what?
I don't know.
No, Rohi did not resign.
I would not. It's the same media that says Sekou Sedili jumped ship and Sekou Sedili came in and refute that. So it's the same media. I don't know who is behind it, but
I don't think Rohi has resigned.
I would not rely on that. I saw it at the beginning of it, but I didn't comment on it.
Anyways.
All right, Father Mose, you have a great and blessed weekend, yo. All right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll maintain to be how you call me, a low hanging fruit. But coach, remember last week that was a new name between Mr. Silla and Musa Jeng, a low hanging fruit. Oh man, I love Father Mose. You call him a political juggernaut, but this man is the political juggernaut. He knows how to poke every angle.
Oh yeah.
But steady as she goes, Father Mo. Steady as she goes.
Thank you, sir.
Inshallah, we'll be here.
I have to read my man what he said. We're just about to knock off when Musa Jeng stop talking nonsense. Internal democracy is not for a limited period, not an open season. Thus, if you want to partake in it, you wait and see the process is called. We do not expect the national organizing committee to be going around undermining party unity and promoting self. I'm fair to independence. I'm reading exactly that's abuse and is undermined party unity. Party leader would tolerate that, would not tolerate that. I guess that's what you want to say. Hey, all right, Suntu. I guess.
Suntu. Hey, as you all say, Musa. Suntu is entitled to his own opinions, but not to his own facts. With that, I sign out.
Thank you, sir. Hey.
Thank you, Suntu.
Next Sunday, inshallah, Brother Maron.
All right, inshallah. Are you going to rescue yourself on Sunday then? It's just going to be me and coach, or what's going on?
Oh, no, you watch me. Just watch me.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm telling you, I want a leader that I can push, that can put something on the table.
Okay.
I'm not a cultist like this into Davis of this world. I don't play like that.
So Suntu is now a cultist.
Of course he is, and he knows that.
Leave my boy alone.
With all the conference calls, he said, well, just to correct you, we were only on one conference call.
Is Suntu really from Nyomi or from Kia? Or from Java?
I think he's confused. That's why he says from Nyomi, but I think he has his people in Kiang too. Because you remember when the opposition boycotted the elections, I said one of his uncles stood as an independent in Kiang.
How did he do?
I don't think he won, but you know.
That was the party leader has a responsibility to maintain party unity. Well, he definitely does, but unfortunately, he was not successful at that. What does that tell you?
Faramuz, he said he's a party loyalist. That's what he said.
Thank you, son, to continue being a party. He's an institutionalist.
I'm a party loyalist. No. No, you're a double loyalist. There's a difference. All right, man.
All right.
We will be back.
All right, Suntu, I apologize. They are not related. A dafe is a dafe to me. All right, anyway.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks.